Members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our world
far side. Warlock. Celebrating. Shoots.
With his 100th
and our members.
point of the season.
Gas fuels your community. Visit FedGas. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Start thinking spring road trip. Road trip.
Braves. Yeah.
All-wheel drive, EyeSight driver assist technology, heated seats, and LED steering responsive headlights. Plus, with interest rates from 0.99%, you'll love the affordable weekly payments. No waiting, immediate delivery available. Subaru Crosstrek. Visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
This ad is presented by the United Conservative Caucus. The new Alberta-Ottawa energy deal will significantly expand Alberta's oil and gas production and create thousands of jobs, thanks to the leadership of Alberta's United Conservative MLAs. The consumer carbon tax is gone, the oil and gas production cap is eliminated, and the net zero electricity regulations are over. Let's keep Alberta strong and free. Visit unitedconservativecaucus.ca/surveys.
He's a legend in the booth and a master on the mic.
Low Tide brings the banter weekdays from noon to 2.
Sports 1440 is where Edmonton talks sports. Get in the game. Text 833-401-1440.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Die. Warlock. Celebrating. Shoots.
On Sports 1440.
James Dusty's got two bodies. Oh, my God.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Braves. Catch.
Well, terrific Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the lovely province. PlayAlberta.ca, and it's Tuesday night, $65 million up for grabs. In Lotto Max, get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. Also, you can check out the Jason Gregor show specials. I'm telling you right now, the Edmonton Oilers, they've had a lot of success against the Seattle Kraken. 14-4. No team has beat the Kraken more than the Edmonton Oilers since the Kraken came into the NHL. No one. The Oilers beat them 9-4 earlier this year. And Matt Savoy, 4 games in a row. Ooh, kind of like a Matt Savoy goal. So check that out and more. PlayAlberta.ca. Man, we got lots and lots to get to. Mike Benton's going to join us from Seattle to talk about the Kraken. We got Dave McCarthy, Struds, Speck, DVD, Terry Ryan. Also, a conversation with Zach Hyman, Matthias Ekholm from earlier today. As interesting comments from Ekholm on Savoy and Ekholm on Bouchard and Hyman on Savoy and Podkolzin. So we'll get to all of those comments coming up in the show today. Paul Sir will join us. We'll talk little hoops. There is lots going on. The Toronto Maple Leafs fired their GM an hour before the rematch against the Ducks when everybody was supposed to get their pound of flesh and everything like that. It was an interesting game. Radko Gudas clearly can't throw a punch because his hands hurt. I give him a ton of credit. The guy went in there, dropped his gloves, knowing he wasn't going to throw a punch. Watch the fight against Domi. He has no intention to throw a punch. Now the Leafs kept going at him, and that's fine. And you know what, though? But I will say, if I'm Gudis, he's like, hey, the first time I stood up, I owned to it. I admitted I made a mistake. And they kept coming, knowing he couldn't fight back. I can't wait till the next. Trust me, he'll remember it. So that's good. But the Leafs fire their GM. And today, Keith Pelley has a press conference. It might have been one of the most odd press conferences. So what went wrong this year? Well, we weren't prepared for the train. Talking about Buffalo and Montreal. What? What the hell does that have to do with anything? Yes, last year you had 12 points against those two teams. This year you got 6. So why does that 6 points matter? You'd still be 5 points out of the playoffs if you beat those teams. What the hell are you talking about? How does two teams... I get that Montreal, by the way, playoff team last year. I get why Buffalo's better. You're like, oh, okay. You weren't prepared for it. Neither was Buffalo. They were in last place, but then they figured it out. What about Columbus? What about all the other teams? Philadelphia, all these other teams that are ahead of you. Why would you only focus on 2 teams? And the hilarious part is he says, well, you know what? They were good because they had a lot of youth. And then later in the press conference, we're not going to tank. We're not rebuilding. What? Like, does he not understand how the Maple Leafs got good? Here's a fun little refresher for you. Because the Maple Leafs, they kind of were like the Oilers. They had a decade of darkness. It just didn't go a full decade. From 2006 to 2016, they missed the playoffs 10 out of 11 times. They made it in 2013. But in 2006, first-round pick, 13th overall, Yuri Tlusty. 2007, they traded their first-round pick, which was 13th overall, and a second-rounder for Vesa Toskala and Mark Bell. They traded a first-rounder for Vesa Toskala and Mark Bell. Didn't work out. Then they took Luke Schenn, 5th overall. They traded up from 7th, gave up a second-rounder to move up 2 spots. They took Nazem Kadri, 7th in 2009. Then the pain came because in September of 2009, they traded for Phil Kessel, and they gave up a first-rounder in 2010, a first-rounder in 2011, and a second-rounder in 2010. They didn't get good. In fact, the Maple Leafs ended up having the 2nd overall pick in 2010. That went to Boston. Hello, Tyler Seguin. The next year, missed the playoffs again, and guess what? They traded their pick, which is a 9th overall pick, Dougie Hamilton. Boston said, thank you. So Boston got Seguin and Hamilton, and I don't even remember who they got in the second round. Doesn't matter. They won the trade. And guess what? The Leafs stayed bad. Then they got Morgan Riley, 5th in 2012. They did make the playoffs in 2013, and they took Freddie Gaudreau, 23rd overall. Then they went back to sucking, and 7th overall in 14, Willem Nylander, 4th overall in 15, Mitch Marner, 1st overall in Austin Matthews, 2016. And guess what? Then they got good. From 2017 to 2025, the Maple Leafs had the 3rd most regular season wins in the NHL. But how do they become good? Well, 1st overall pick, a 4th overall pick, a 7th overall pick, a 5th overall pick, like most teams. Chicago, Edmonton, Pittsburgh, LA, go down the list. Tampa Bay, right? Go down the list of teams that became good. The only one that didn't really was Florida. Now, although they did have Aaron Ekblad 1st overall, and they did get Barkov 2nd, so they do have 2 picks. They traded all their other ones, but they traded them for really good players. So if you have good picks and you want to trade them, knock your socks off. But how does Pelly think that the Maple Leafs are going to get better? We won't tank. Right? They don't want to tank to get to the bottom 5. What the hell are you talking about? Matthews, Marner, Riley, Luke Schenn, right? All bottom picks. What do you mean you don't want them? Like, I know that publicly maybe you say that, but give me a break. Like, because you don't want to secure your draft pick. What do you want to you just want to give it up because you made a bad trade? Like, I'll say this to whoever's the new GM of the Maple Leafs, 2 things you stay away from. Don't trade first-round picks to Boston. Okay, don't do that. And when you do get some good young skill, Don't sign a free agent for way more money than have to pay your young skill who's just as good more money. Because those are the two errors that crushed the Leafs. Right, you go back to that Kessel trade, brutal. But the Cardinal trade now, before and at the end of it, hurts them. And the John Tavares. And John Tavares being a really good player, I get it. But it's not what they needed. Because then it cost them having to pay Matthews and Marner more money. And didn't get them anything. They had good regular season success, but no playoff success. So I'll be fascinated to see what the Maple Leafs do. The other thing that just made me chuckle, why do you have to have co-interim GMs between now and the end of the season? Why? Like, honestly, what tough decisions are going to be made now until the end of the season as a GM? Are you signing that many guys? I think the Maple Leafs have one contract on it. Like that, and that decision just showed me that they can never make a hard decision. No. We got to have co-interim GMs. Co-interim GMs. Like, why? It's ridiculous. It's unnecessary. You don't need it. So, there you go. Coming up tonight in the NHL. Oh, baby. How about let's go through last night, first of all. There was only 5 games, but they had some pretty big playoff implications. The Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely crushed the Islanders, and they lit up Sorokin of all guys. He gave up 7 goals. They gave him a mercy pull late in the game because the Islanders play again tonight. You might want to go with Sorokin again tonight. You got to win games. I was shocked they kept him in that long. So they lose 8-3. The Avs crushed the Flames. That's no surprise. Doesn't really change anything. Actually helps Calgary in the draft lottery. Vegas needed everything to get by Vancouver. They actually trailed that game. As Evander Kane gave him a 1-0 lead, scored in his 1,000th game. Brock Besser made him 2-1 before Vegas tied it late in the second and then won it in the third. The Ducks lose in overtime to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Ducks tied the game late in regulation in the final 2 minutes. But then John Tavares scored even later with 5 seconds left. So that kind of helps the Oilers because instead of being 5 points up, now the Ducks are 4 points up. They played the same amount of games. Edmonton owns the tiebreaker. Edmonton has to basically win 2 more games than Anaheim. If Anaheim goes 5-3, the Oilers got to go 7-1. It's not going to be easy, but 4 is better than 5. So that's kind of where they come out. And then maybe a little bit of a surprise based on how they were playing. The St. Louis Blues came rolling into San Jose red hot. They really needed a win. Would have put them 2 points out of the playoffs with the game in hand. And lost. In regulation, they lost to the San Jose Sharks. And the Sharks move up. They're now 2 points back of the Preds with 2 games in hand. Same with Seattle. And St. Louis stays 4 back now with 9 games to go. Probably too much of a hole now to dig out of because you got to pass 5 teams. If you're 6 teams, excuse me. No, 5. If you're the Blues, the Jets, the Sharks, the Kraken, the Kings, and the Preds. Probably not happening, right? So that might have been the final nail for the St. Louis Blues. But the Sharks give themselves a stay of execution, thinking maybe we got a chance. And also, Macklin Celebrini, the 6th teenager in NHL history to score 100 points in a season, as he does that last night. And now we move ahead to tonight's games. And let's start in the West because the schedule definitely impacts Eastern teams way more. But in the West, the Oilers and the Kraken. Oilers have a chance to move within 2 of the Ducks, keep the pressure on them, move 2 points ahead of Vegas, which is key in the race for at least second place. Meanwhile, the Kraken, a win, they would move into a tie with the Nashville Predators for the final playoff spot. The Preds would have, Seattle would jump ahead of them because they'd have a game in hand, right? So they'd have a higher points percentage and they'd have 1 extra game to play. So they win tonight, the Kraken, whether it's in regulation or overtime, doesn't matter. If they win, they will be in 8th place. So they got a lot to play for tonight. And the other game that the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Karius's Jets. The Jets win. They would pull to within 1 point of the Nashville Predators. So big game tonight for the Winnipeg Jets, who come in with 74 points. So they could leapfrog Seattle if the Oilers beat them in regulation tonight. So in the East, though, there's lots more at stake as you look at the standings, and it's a pretty big race. There's a race all over the place. Tampa and Buffalo each have 98 points. Montreal's only 4 back, and they got a game in hand on the Sabres. Penguins, big win last night. They leapfrogged the Islanders. They're now at 90 points. The Islanders are at 89 points. The Blue Jackets are 88. They got the final wild card spot. And Boston's only 2 back of Montreal. Both those teams in action tonight. Then you got the Senators, Red Wings, and the Flyers, each with 86 points. And they're all in action tonight. The Bruins are hosting the Stars. The Sabres are hosting the Islanders. Montreal is in Tampa. Ottawa's in Florida. They kind of got the easiest game. Then you've got Detroit in Pittsburgh, massive game. Flyers are in Washington, and the Blue Jackets host the Hurricanes. So, man, there'll be lots of movement tonight in the Eastern Conference. Well, maybe. It depends on who wins and loses. They might just be shuffling the deck like they have been the last few days. One team's moves in second, other teams drops to third, one's in a wild card spot, the other one's out of the playoffs. So we'll see what happens tonight. But teams like the Flyers you're chasing, the Red Wings are chasing, the Senators are chasing, they got to win. Meanwhile, the other teams are just trying to stave them off, so it should be fun. Other news today, interesting announcement coming down from the green and gold as the Edmonton Elks announced that they have hired Rick Campbell as a coaching analyst. And we're trying to track down Rick to get him on the – oh, we do. We're going to have Rick on the show. So we will find out in the 4 o'clock hour today, what's a coaching analyst? Now, Rick is being the head coach, being a defensive coordinator. He's coached the linebackers. He's coached the secondary. He's been a special teams coach. I think the only title he hasn't held is offensive coordinator. Maybe receivers coach. I'd have to ask him on that. Well, has he coached? I don't think he's coached the O-line. So he's coached a lot of positions. And as a coaching analyst, is it like a coaching mentor? Is that not the right term? Is it an extra set of eyes? Are you involved in game planning? We'll find out. Rick Campbell will join us at 4 o'clock today. So very much looking forward to having Rick on the show. Always good to talk a little football with him. We'll break down the Kraken, and the Oilers have really dominated them. Now, this season, the Oilers power play is 7 for 9. Now, there's one big difference. There's no Leon Draisaitl tonight. And the Oilers power play has just crushed Seattle. 77%. 7 for 9. Yeah, like that. It's pretty damn good. It might even be 78% now that I do the math. But either way, that is the big opportunity for the Oilers. If you can get some penalties tonight, maybe get your power play rolling a little bit. It's never going to be as good as when you have Draisaitl because he's the best power play guy in the league for the last decade. No one scored more goals than him. Right? Since 2016 till now, no one scored more goals than, I guess 2016-17. So I like to call it 2017, right? The last decade. No one scored more power play. And Draisaitl is actually only one of 4 players in the NHL to have 100 power play goals and 10 shorthanded goals. So we'll get to some of those numbers and some other ones in our stats of the day later on today, brought to you by All-Star Construction. As always, we'll take your thoughts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Con man, what did you make of the Toronto-Anaheim game last night?
Geez, where do you even start on that one? Hey, good on the Leafs to do the Oilers a bit of a favor and prevent the Ducks from going to a shootout where they are really good. The Radko Gudas stuff was really interesting, and you kind of talked about it there. Like, Gudas clearly couldn't go. I thought it was really admirable for him to step up in that case and say, I'll get out there, I'll do this. Only played 7 minutes, obviously was ejected from the game. But there was some things brought up prior to the game about, if he doesn't go out there, could some of the other players maybe have to face the music? And could the Leafs start to run around? And for that reason, that weighed into his decision to go out there. So I respected it. He's got that history. It was a dirty hit. He got the suspension, and he recognized that. And I thought that was a pretty admirable response, even if you don't like him and don't like the action. Good on him to step up. And then, for him, look at that Leafs roster. Like, I don't think he was panicking about the guys that were going to come after him. He took it from Domi. I think there was a little defense when Domi threw some punches when they were on the ground. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. I thought they handled themselves pretty well. And, now you move forward. One of the things I talked about in Fantasy Frenzy today was, after the second go around, I feel like Radko Gudas at that point might have been like, okay, I'm clearly not healthy right now. Got the ankle, the hands. Wait till next year. I'm going to remember that you guys just kept coming after me. And then I'm going to fight back. Because I think the Leafs might still go at him. But next time when they meet, he's going to be fighting back. And that to me, I think, is a potential for some fireworks next season.
Oh, well, it'll be something to watch for sure to see where he plays and with who. But I'm sure he'll remember that, no question, and that's good. And hey, I'm sure the Leafs, when they play him again, like I'll say this, he wasn't throwing punches, so it was fairly one-sided. Good on Doman. Good on. Hey, everybody knew they were going to fight. I will say this: I was kind of surprised that Vial wasn't on the ice to start the game. At least be on the ice just to show, hey, we got some. Like, what are you doing? So that part. Now there were some key injuries last night. You know, the Ducks had a few guys leave that game. We'll see. Cutter Gauthier left the game. You had Carlson get banged up. And then in Colorado, Cale Makar. He got hit fairly hard, not dirty, nothing like that, just along the boards. Went off, came back, played a shift or two, then left. And it's clearly a shoulder injury. Just to what extent? Is it a slight separation? Who knows? Might be a few weeks. We'll see. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Cale Makar take a few nights off here. And with the Norris Trophy race being as tight as it is, if Cale Makar doesn't play another game this season, that might cost him. Like, honestly, if you look at it right now, amongst the defensemen that are in the race, Makar, Werenski, Bouchard, Hudson, you know, some would say Dahlin's in there. Quinn Hughes, I can't have Quinn Hughes in the race. For me, not in the top 5. He's had a good year, but he's a -6 on the season. The season includes his time in Vancouver, rightly or wrongly. He's a -6 player. How the hell can he be a top 5? For me, that just doesn't make sense. But, you know, Darren Radish, Dahlin, Sider, there's lots of other options. But Cale Makar, if he doesn't play, and I know it's only 8 games, but that's 10% of the season. Right? If all of a sudden he's out and other guys end up being 20 points ahead of him in the scoring race, that might impact it. So we'll see. I'm sure he doesn't care about that. He's got 2 Norrises. Their goal is to get to the Stanley Cup, and you obviously want him healthy in the lineup. Hey, Gregor, speaking of Draisaitl, any update? The only update on Draisaitl is that he's eligible to come off on the 11th. He hasn't skated with the team yet. He was on the ice, full gear, laughing in the team picture. You know, it's a knee issue. My understanding it's probably I think it's like a 2nd degree MCL issue. So we're actually going to have Grant Fedork on to talk about what does that exactly mean? What's a normal timeline on that for an NHL player? Not Joe Schmuck like myself, but an NHL player. So that's where we're at on Draisaitl. They still believe that he's got a very good chance to be ready to roll for the playoffs. Maybe even the regular season, a game or 2. We'll return to Seattle Kraken. They need a win. They're a team that, hey, Bobby McMahon, the pride of Wainwright, is playing very well for them. Him and Capo Kako have found some chemistry. But can they get anybody else to score? That's the problem. And what happened to the goaltending? We'll find out next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Need a new ride for road trips, errands, or just life on the go? Go Auto offers a massive selection with over 15,000 new and used vehicles to choose from. With over 70 locations across Western Canada, finding your next ride has never been easier. Whether it's a roomy SUV for the family, a sleek car for the open road, or a rugged truck for your weekend adventures, you'll find it here at a price you'll love. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win games with salad.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
That's 2 minutes for teeth chattering. Freezing on the sidelines again? The Kuma heated chair is a must-have for sports parents who want to cheer in total comfort. From chilly spring mornings to frosty fall evenings, you can finally be warm and comfortable for every game of the season. Shop Kuma Outdoor Gear online and choose from 4 unique models, including one you both can curl up in. Get yours today at kumaoutdoorgear.com.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and if you're like me, you never stop wondering what the future holds. The one thing I do know is that you'll be able to enjoy my maple butter glazed donut at Tim Hortons because it's so fluffy and delicious that it'll never come off the menu. Never, ever, ever. Try it today at Tim's.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers push. The playoffs is on, and OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play score and win every game. See more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
227, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Declan Kruger running things over at YouTube and Facebook, X, and Instagram. So say hi, give him a thumbs up, say hello to the D-Man, and hey, hit the subscribe button. Likes to track it every, if you get a few subscribers every day, just puts a smile on his face. So very simple thing to do. Costs you nothing. Literally a few seconds of your time. So check out Sports 1440 on YouTube. Edmonton Oilers tonight taking on the Seattle Kraken. 2 teams that are battling for different positions in the playoffs. The Oilers are looking to move 2 points up on Vegas, get 2 points back of Anaheim for first, but also give themselves a little bit of breathing room over Vegas and maintain at least second place and home ice advantage for the first round in the Pacific Division. Meanwhile, the Kraken have 2 games in hand on 8th place Nashville. They're 2 points back. They're currently tied in regulation wins with 25. So the Kraken win one of those 2 games in hand in regulation, and they would be in a playoff spot. So lots on the line for both teams as we go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And hey, you hear what's coming? A chicken Big Mac, Connor Halley. Big Mac sauce with the chicken, all exploding into one flavor. Ooh. Who's not going to want to try that? Tell I am. Might even order some for the fellas. Check it out at McDonald's. As we welcome in Kraken radio host Mike Benton joins us. Mike, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. And that's what I call winner chicken dinner.
Yeah,
right.
Touche, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, a guy who's been a winner so far. Huge returns for the Kraken with the acquisition of the pride of Wainwright, Alberta, who will have a big contingent of fans in the game tonight. Mr. McMahon has played very well with 8 goals, 11 points in 10 games 7 goals, 11 points in 8 games since coming over.
Yeah, it seems like that something just really clicked, from this trade deadline, and I would just go really go here to the start of this with him and his relationship with the head coach right now in Lane Lambert. And you can basically trace this back to 1 year ago when Lane Lambert was the associate coach in Toronto for Craig Berube. And this is a guy that the name was very high up on the radar come trade deadline time. Oftentimes, coaches, GMs will just kind of have, side conversations as far as, a potential trade target, who might fit in. This was one guy that made, I think, perfect sense for the Kraken and their needs offensively, and B, the type of players that Lane Lambert wants to build around here as they continue to grow and evolve right now as far as their roster, their lineup, and ultimately what their culture is going to be all about. To say that he has fit in just really doesn't do it justice, Jason. He's had a chance to play with Matty Beniers and that top line. He's played more recently with Chandler Stevenson on the wing with Capo Caco, and he hasn't skipped a beat at all. And it really goes down to just one simple thing here that a lot of this lineup has had trouble grasping in the past. Is just shoot the puck. And it's not going to be so much of a turnover in possession, but it's more or less just trying to find a way to be the goaltender. Now, granted, the shot he has, it's terrific, and he's certainly shown it off, in quite a few instances, whether it might be just standalone or off the rush as well. But there's been more of a plea for this team to put the puck on net, to track rebounds, and if it doesn't go in first, you're hustling to go right back to get it. Overpassing sometimes can complicate things, but McMahon has really done, I think, a great job of showing the example of what it means to simplify this game in the most important time that they really need him. So he's fit in great. He says he loves it here so far, and, to say that he's been a massive pickup just, I think, only begins to scratch the surface.
You look at the Kraken, and Capo Caco and McMahon, those two guys are scoring a lot here lately. Jordan Eberle is the only 20-goal scorer they've had on the team this year. Offense has actually picked up a little bit in their last 30 games. Unfortunately for them, the area of their game that was really good was goaltending, and it's it's hit the skids here a little bit compared to what they did in the first half of the season, where Joey Decord, that was one of the best goaltending tandems in the NHL for the first 41 games. Is it just defensively is a little bit weaker, but, when you look at goals saved above expected, it's kind of fallen, into the negative category for both of those guys here down lately. What's changed simply from a goaltending standpoint?
Well, here's what the Lane Lambert system is all about here, Jason, since he took over the Kraken, several months back, even, back to this last summer. The better that they play is reflective on the kind of quality shots or lack thereof that they give up each game. And I kind of use an example of a win they had against the Carolina Hurricanes back on March 2nd. They won that one by a nose hair. Carolina got fresh off the bus and dumped what felt like about roughly 80 shot attempts on net, as they usually do basically every game. The difference here, though, is for that kind of game, they were firing pucks ad nausea from the outside, and it made it easy for goaltending to make basic saves. The more and more that you find pucks begin to filter their way into the middle, that's where the Kraken get into trouble. When they're at their best, they've got sticks clogging lanes, they've got players blocking shots, and, more often than not, they're able to box out and, take away those firsthand opportunities as well right back at the front of the net. So I would link it right back to more of a commitment to where this system began to really lock itself in around middle to late November. I think there's been some disruption as well with the Olympic break that has kind of knocked this team off the tracks, and they've had to kind of pick their game right back up, but they've begun to show some signs of life in that area over the last 3 games. And funny enough, where the schedule has gotten much, much more difficult here. So I would think a little bit of that. I'm curious maybe how Philip Grubauer came back a little bit with his energy. He won't admit that he's tired. There was a bit of a dip as far as the numbers before the break, and Joey DeCourt has had a lengthy break as well, but his numbers took a dip. But ultimately, it goes right back to how well can they defend the inside, because when they do, they're at their best, and high-quality shots are few and far between. Rush chances are few and far between as well.
The Oilers' power play 7 for 9 against the Kraken this year. No team has beat Seattle more since they came to the NHL than the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are 14-4. Dallas has 13 wins, pretty dominant at the same time. Edmonton's power play has been great, though. Historically, over 35% against Seattle, 77% this year. But, and it's a big but, there's no Leon Draisaitl tonight, and he is a key cog in the power play. Without Draisaitl, the Oilers' power play in the 6 games is 1 for 14. With that knowledge, do you think Seattle tries to play a more aggressive game? Because you don't necessarily have to be as concerned about the Oilers' power play as you normally would without Draisaitl.
Yeah, it's such a great question, man. But you know what? Connor McDavid's found a way to hurt them over and over on the power play. Evan Bouchard, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman. He had a 4-goal game against them. They still have legit weapons here. So, I mean, it's been a bit of a struggle for the Kraken and the penalty kill, and for numerous reasons. There's been some personnel shuffling, a little bit back and forth. And I think the longer the season went on, the more that they found the right kind of combination intersecting here with the kind of penalty kill that Lane Lambert has tried to document and diagram here from the get-go. But the Kraken have been one of the more disciplined teams in the NHL here for this season. And, one of the biggest key points is, even with Draisaitl out and the damage that he can do, this really isn't, a top-heavy team in the sense where you take Draisaitl out and the whole thing just goes kaput. I mean, I get it that, depth has always been a big, talking point here with the Oilers and their lineup. But when it comes to power play time, the way that they can certainly whip it around, it's been a big struggle for the Kraken to handle that for the penalty kill. So I think once again for this season, you're really going to hear a lot of how much can they keep play at 5-on-5. And there's kind of a fine line that they walk. And a hard lesson that they learned also when they lost handily to the Colorado Avalanche earlier this month back on March 12th. And Lane Lambert at the end of the game just said flat out, they just gave the Avalanche way too much respect. So there's going to be some shifts where you're going to have to kind of, survey the lay of the land defensively, but not get caught puck watching. But the more and more that they can find the right plays at the right time and then avoid plays where they, take the bait, as you say, but find their way into the penalty box, the better off that they're going to be. So I'm a firm believer that even with Draisaitl out, they don't want to play with fire with giving the Oilers power play chances over and over.
Yeah, Mike Benton joins us here on Sports 1440. Mike, the Kraken are one of 6 teams battling for that final playoff spot. You got some help in a way. The St. Louis Blues might have knocked themselves out of that race last night. They're 4 back with only 9 games to go, and they got to jump over 5 teams. Pretty hard to do. The Kraken only have to catch the Preds or the Kings at this point, and they do have 2 games in hand on the Preds, 1 game in hand on the Kings. How important do you feel these final 10 games are for this organization and the need to get back to the postseason?
Absolutely massive. And I called this 6-game road trip that they're ending tonight, the final boss of this regular season schedule. And even then, they still have to end the regular season, Jason, back-to-back at Vegas, which just made a coaching change. And then, get this, at the Colorado Avalanche in the Rocky Mountain High where the altitude is 9, and you got to deal with Nathan McKinnon. Then again, we'll see what kind of lineup that they put out here with, what could be or not be at stake right now in, their pursuits of top seed in the Western Conference. So a playoff spot is already locked down. But I went back into this part of the schedule where, they had a lengthy stretch away from home ice. They have been better at home this year than on the road. And they went through some, a pretty good deal of challenges here. When you look at what they had to deal with, first off, it was going into, the reaches of Buffalo, going into the reaches of Florida, and they're having a down year. But, the Panthers really gave them a handful. And then to Tampa Bay, where they had only won once in franchise history, and the Kraken found a way to win that game as well in overtime. Buffalo's a lot better this year, and the Sabres proved that a 2-0 lead, for the Kraken was not enough. in that game, and they came back to win in a shootout. What's encouraging for them is they've been playing a lot better with the hill getting a bit steeper here on this road trip. They found a way to get an early lead. They found a way to minimize the penalty damage. Goaltending has been better. They've continued to get, top-end contributions from Bobby McMahon. And then what I really pointed out earlier was that you really found an extra sense of fire inside their game, some fuel, some passion that really had been spotty maybe at this point, at points of this season, and definitely for the first 4 years of this franchise. And that begins here with the culture that Lane Lambert is trying to turn around. Their captain, Jordan Eberle, took a high hit from Emil Lilleberg in Tampa Bay. Berkeley Catton fought the first guy he saw. The whole team said that lit a fuse. For a 20-year-old, his first NHL fight, that sent a big message. Last game, Shane Wright took a high hit from Logan Stanley in Buffalo. Jamie Alexiak dropped the gloves with Stanley back at center ice. Message sent. So that leads us here to the last 10 games where they're kind of finding their stride right now at the right time. It's going to be challenging. They have 6 opponents left on this docket, which are in playoff positioning here. So they get a bit of a breather once they come home. Utah's no slouch, of course, but then Chicago comes in. So as of right now, they're finding ways to lop off 2 points against some big opponents right now, and that effectively has laid the groundwork for what's going to be a huge next 2 weeks, given the fact that they're still going to go to Winnipeg, and they're in this mix. Minnesota has turned the corner with Quinn Hughes and much more here. So by far and away, they've been talking playoffs, and these last 10 games here, Jason, mean a ton.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, and it'll be interesting to see if the Kraken can find a way to solve the Edmonton Oilers, who, if you remember the Clash of the Titans, the Oilers have basically been the Medusa to the Kraken right now since they've come in the NHL. So, Mike, I appreciate your time. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yeah, you too, Jason. Appreciate you. Thank you.
There you go. It's Mike Benn. Now, I know the answer to this question, Connor. I know you've never seen it because it is a bit of an older movie, and you're not a huge movie guy, but Clash of the Titans, a classic. Anybody out there who's of that vintage who it's such a great 80s movie. You look and the thing was it was very popular because at the time it instilled stop motion visual effects. It really hadn't been used then, right? This came out in the early 1980s, and it's basically an epic fantasy adventure, right? It's Greek mythology. Greek mythology, if you've ever taken time to study it, is unreal. Some of the stuff makes no sense. The god of this and then you got Medusa, who of course, she's the woman and she has snakes in her hair and she's considered so hideous to look at that if you look at her, you turn to stone, right? And so in the movie, of course, there's the Medusa and Prometheus, who's Zeus's son, has to find a way because the only way to beat the Kraken, Connor Halley, is to get the Kraken to look at Medusa. And so obviously it's not like you can just control Medusa. So Prometheus ends up beheading her, but her head's so powerful that even without the body, the head in the bag still, when you look at it, you turn to stone. And that's and they had the classic. They were going to offer up one of the Andromeda, Princess Andromeda, to the Kraken, right? To kind of hold off that he wouldn't attack everybody else. That's always a weird one in Greek mythology, but it's I don't know if you ever seen it. They also have the great part of the movie is there's this robotic owl in the movie. And that's my favorite part. Oh, I Googled it again because I was I need something fun to kind of tie into my article today at Oilers Nation. And so I remember this scene from Clash of the Titans. It's a 2.5-minute scene that shows him flying. Do you know who Pegasus is?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know Pegasus. So he's flying in on Pegasus. For 2.5 minutes, there's not old school movie, man. This wasn't Charlie Chaplin era, the whole movie. I'm talking 2.5 minutes, no one talking. It was just the actions of the Kraken coming out of the water and Pegasus flying through the air. It's hilarious. Oh, so good. You can check out that scene in my article today at Oilers Nation. If you and Declan want to, but be scared. Just remember, boys, don't look at Medusa, okay? She's very, very powerful.
Now, have you seen the remake, the 2010 film?
There's no chances, and even close to as good as the original.
Do you want to watch the Odyssey that comes out later this year?
I would not waste my time. No, remakes are rarely any good.
This one's not a remake, though. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But there's like the Christopher Nolan Odyssey, ridiculous cast in it.
Oh, no, I haven't even heard about that. What's the Odyssey about?
It is Homer,
Same
an
thing?
adaptation of Homer's ancient Greek epic, The Odyssey.
Like Homer Simpson?
There's the title. No.
Oh, Homer from Great. I was like, what? Homer Simpson?
Homer Simpson.
Oh my God! Now you had me interest peaked a bit.
We got to get the Duke on if you're going to talk Greek mythology. He's a big fan,
dude.
He'll just ramble. About it.
But you can go down like a rabbit hole on Greek mythology that is unbelievable. Like some of the stuff and all the gods and what they stand for and all the characters, like it's phenomenal, truly. Right? Like you always wonder, like how much of it is true. Right? Ulysses and all, like I'm assuming none of it's true, but I don't know. I can't say for sure.
It's a good story either way.
Yeah, like you don't know. Right? So what is this? So is the Odyssey like what is it like what is it about? Give me the Cole's notes on why I should watch it.
Declan, I think, wants to hop in here.
No, yeah, sure.
Big cinephile.
Is Declan,
Yeah.
Are you a big Odyssey fan?
Well, so one of the kind of sorry, I just got to take these headphones off because of the double there. So basically, it's Odysseus' journey home after the 10-year Trojan War. The other one, which was the Iliad, that was about the siege of the city of Troy during the Trojan War, and one of the most epic pieces of literature ever. Like predates the Bible by 500 years. Like the narrative that goes into it, it kind of predates everything that came after it.
Like that's a book by wasn't his name Homer?
I don't know if it was Homer, but yeah, he was a Greek philosopher, obviously a Greek writer. Yeah.
I thought he had the double name, but like he's like the Ivan for young fans, except he was more of a. I'm pretty sure it was Homer. I could be wrong on that, but so there you go. I have to. So you recommend it? All right. Now, like, what did you ever watch Troy with Brad Pitt? How would you classify that?
It was good. It was a good, accurate historical epic, I would say.
Yeah.
This is one though that it's such like this is such a story because. Both of his books, the Odyssey and Iliad, like they're so. I think the best way to describe it is it's so hard to kind of put to film that no one's really wanted to try it because they're such epics and they mean so much to literature and to history that Christopher Nolan's really kind of the only guy who could attack this and actually give it a legit go.
Right.
And I think that's why everyone's kind of like, wow, it's finally here.
Okay, all right, there we go. I like it. But you haven't seen Clash of the Titans, have you, Deck?
I have not.
Wow, buddy, if you want to talk about an epic, classic film. Now, I'm being somewhat facetious, but there's just parts of it that are so good. The scene with the metallic owl is one of my favorite scenes of all time because there's no talking. They don't really describe everything. It's so hilarious. I love it. And then how the Kraken stares at Medusa and then turns to stone and just crumbles in the ocean. Hopefully I didn't ruin it for you. If you haven't seen it, it's great. Take a quick break. We'll come back. And hey, we'll talk about some guys who have been stone hands on the court next on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy. Because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. We're the #1 dealer in the world. Just kidding. If we were, would you care? We're the #1 dealer in Canada. Still kidding. You probably still don't care. Tell you what you will care about, our March Madness sale going on right now. Discounts up to $30,000. And the grand opening of our Autoplex, a massive indoor showroom. No self-proclaimed titles, no iPads, no trips to Vegas or hockey jerseys, just a really good deal. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical, lighting, and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. CanTorque has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
When it comes to sports in Edmonton, Jason Gregor is a must-listen. He brings you the inside scoop with guests from across North America. If it matters in sports, you'll hear it here first. Gregor rolls out weekdays from 2 to 6 on Sports 1440.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com. Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacing, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We continue on. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you are having a fantastic Tuesday. It's game day. Oilers trying to go for 4 in a row. Them and the Flyers, the only two teams in the NHL who do not have a 4-game winning streak. Both could do it tonight. Flyers are in Washington, riding a 3-game winning streak. The Oilers are hosting the Kraken. Their game will start about 2 hours after. So, in theory, the Oilers could become the last team with the 4-game winning streak, but on the same night. And I'd like to see the Flyers win because that just means they're even closer to the playoffs. And it just means the race becomes more intense. So go Flyers. Should be good. We'll get more to the Oilers, Matthias Ekholm, Zach Hyman, and more. But first, we're going to get to our basketball report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. As we are joined on the show once again by the host of Hoop City, Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. here on Sports 1440. Paul Sir joins us. Paul, how you doing, my man?
Well, I've got a little bit to add to your movie conversation.
Oh, yeah. Let's do it.
Just real briefly, the actual first show for stop motion. And when you were talking about that, I remembered what you saw in your favorite movie, Jason, was actually very advanced stop motion, because the first stop motion was Jason and the Argonauts in 1963. That's when it started. So it was about 20 years before Harry Hamlin in your movie and that whole cast. But I totally agree with you. They're great movies. They were awesome for my kids because you guys are all so much younger than me. But lots of fun, lots of great fun, and the tie into Greek mythology, of which I'm a bit of especially when I was younger, a bit of a geek on. Really, really enjoyable.
Yeah. No, I love that little piece of history, Paul. Awesome. Hey, we get you on the show to talk basketball and learn about film. So that's a double win. I like it. Looking at the NBA, I saw that, the NBA now this year has had the most 30-point blowout losses in one season ever. Any reason why? Like, is it just, is there way more good teams and way more really bad teams? Because like the 20 teams that are going to make the playoffs kind of being decided here with a month to go in the season. Is this just a year where there's a clear bottom 10 teams way more than we've seen in a normal year?
I think so. I think that's one of the reasons, but I think there's a couple of more that are at least worth exploring. I think the compete level when teams are behind, it seems to be at an all-time low visually, at least to my eye. When I'm watching teams, quote unquote, give up, Jason, I see a lot more of that, where the teams just stop competing altogether. And then when that happens, that's usually when there's a flurry of uncontested three-point shot attempts that really seem to build on each other. So I think it's a combination of the high-octane offense, the pace of play, teams giving up faster, and teams keeping the pressure on and pouring it on with taking more and more three-point shots. So I think it has led to this big disparity, but it can't be underscored to what you said can't be understated. That's the proper term. You're absolutely right. The delineation between the better teams, the best teams, good teams, and better teams, and the bad teams, man, the gap is huge this year.
Yeah, and like I'm sorry, I just found it was like living in bizarro world, in dream world, when the commissioner comes out, oh, we're going to do all this to eliminate tanking. Some of these teams aren't tanking. They're just bad. If you don't have talent, you don't have talent. And you can't in the NBA just suddenly go from 1 year we're bad. You know what? We're going to be the greatest GM team and suddenly we're going to be good. It doesn't work that way, right? Like it's impossible. So how do they, I just don't understand, unless they're going to say, you know what? We can only trade draft picks 1 or 2 years away. That's it. Rather than extending the period that you can trade picks, you have to close it, because that will limit teams from wanting to just give away good players for 5 first-round picks.
Well, look at the Thunder as the beneficiary of exactly the scenario you're describing. I mean, they have piles of picks. Like, they're guaranteed to be able to replenish their lineup for years and years and years, while other teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, they're hamstrung. They've traded everything away. So now they're painted into a corner. And to your point, Jason, how are they going to get better if without any kind of draft capital at all? And bizarro world, couldn't agree with you more. Tanking, you think you're going to find a way to legislate tanking out of it? That's like saying you're going to legislate in good officiating. That ain't going to happen. It's got to come from a different source.
Yeah. And so I love the NBA. They're trying to do, and now it's funny. They're like, you know what? We want to eliminate tanking, but we're going to add 2 more teams, which is going to make it even harder for, to find the quality players across the league. So I'm fascinated to see where it's going to go here in the NBA and what kind of oddball rules they're going to put in. But I don't think it's ever going to come to something. There's too many. The more teams you add, the more disparity you have.
100%. You water the pool down even further. Now, are there more better players? You certainly would think so at this juncture, with the kind of globalization with the NBA, to add players from all over the world that are making huge contributions in the NBA and are leading the pack in terms of the best players that they have and adding depth. That's actually also trickling down in a big way into the NCAA now too. But I agree with you. Watering down the pool of talent, trying to find a way to add expansion teams and keep team quality up at a high level. You're going to really have to be standing on your head and riding a unicycle to be able to do that.
There hasn't been much separation, really. The Thunder are still 1, the Spurs are 2, the Lakers are now. The Lakers and the Nuggets are in a pretty tight race, which they if they end up 3-4, that could change kind of who the Thunder and Spurs see in round 2 per se. So if you're the Thunder, like, or you're the Spurs, are you rooting for like the Lakers or the Nuggets? Is there a better matchup for either of those top 2 teams between the Lakers and the Nuggets?
I'd probably want to play the Nuggets just simply because even though they have Jokic and who is still phenomenal, it's interesting to see his stock in the MVP race drop down to about 4th now. There's reasons for that, but it's not because he's playing poorly. It's because he had that injury and he came back too soon and he had a drop off in his output. But now he's back to being Jokic again with lots of 20, 20, and 20 nights, which is just ridiculous. So you've got Jokic, but on the other hand, they don't have the kind of scoring capability that I think Luka Doncic, it's pretty daunting. I would think they would prefer matching up against the Nuggets as opposed to the Lakers, because the Lakers are playing awfully well right now. And the Nuggets still have a hard time guarding anybody and slowing anybody down on offense.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's very true. Has there any change for you in the last few weeks? We're down to a few weeks left in the regular season, 6, 7 games, depending on the team. Anybody heading into the playoffs, like are the Pistons done now, like without Cape Cunningham? What does that mean for them? Like, are they, like, how at risk are they to maybe even losing the first round?
I don't perceive them as being at risk in the first round, as long as it's only Cunningham who's hurt, because they have players that seem to be they have bumps and bruises that are keeping them out of games. Like the game last night, they had most of their starting lineup out. So it really is going to depend on their overall health. If they don't get Cade Cunningham, I wouldn't look at them as being talented enough to get through more than one playoff series. They're still highly competitive. They're playing really well. Whether that can be sustained against a good team over a 7-game series, that certainly would be highly questionable, to your point, Jason. I would look at the Pistons, though, without Cade Cunningham not having much of a chance at all to get to the NBA Finals, even to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay, interesting. Paul, what's coming up on the show this weekend?
Well, of course, we're going to focus on March Madness. I'm going to have Kevin Lehman on, Missouri Valley in Division I commentator for 30 years. He'll be on. We're going to have the great Jack Armstrong on, so we'll talk Raptors and NBA. We'll talk a little bit about the women's Final Four as well. They'll have played their first game. We'll know who's going to be in the finals on Sunday. So lots to talk about. Great March Madness conversations to be had. WNBA has finally got their act together, and we know more and more about the tempo in Toronto. So we'll have a great show this weekend.
Awesome. We look forward to it, Paul. Have a great week, Matt.
Thanks so much. You too,
Actually,
Jason.
before I let you go, the March Madness, the women's team is the exact same for all the number 1 seeds. Like, they've been dominating. Is there one of those number 1s you like the best on the women's side?
Probably UConn. They've won 57 in a row. Sometimes that can be a minus, although they have like streaks of 112 and 90 some and 70 some, and now they got 50 some. They seem to be the favorite, but Texas, all 3 of the other opponents are very, very good. There's still a disparity in the women's game where you get past the top teams, the level goes way down. A lot of 30 and 40 point game differences this year, kind of surprisingly so, but I'd have to give UConn the nod right now. They're really good.
What about remaining on the men's side? Who do you like?
I like Arizona. The matchup with Michigan, I don't know how the NCAA ends up with 2 number 1 seeds playing each other and a 2 and a 3 in the other bracket. They're all dangerous, and one of the things I always marvel at playoff time, Jason, is you think one team should be able to play another team tough, and then they get matched up, and they don't match up well at all. So a dominant team can all of a sudden just get totally rolled by somebody else. I think Arizona has slightly more than everybody else. Their bigs are bigger and stronger than the bigs on other teams, and they've got great guard play, senior leadership with young talent. I have to favor Tommy Lloyd, ex-Gonzaga assistant, a little bit, but the other 3 teams are good. And then, of course, everybody is still gasping at the UConn miracle shot at the end of the game against Duke. And UConn, they have a pedigree. They won 2 in a row very recently, so should be a good series. But again, Arizona is my favorite.
Awesome, Paul. Well, I'm sure you'll be talking about a lot of that on Saturday as well. So have a great show.
Thanks so much, Jason. Take care.
It's Paul Serve from Hoop City, 10 a.m. with Josh Fenwick here on Sports 1440 every Saturday. Coming up, we'll take a quick break. We are going to hear from Dave McCarthy, Terry Ryan. We got Rick Campbell's going to join us back as a coaching consultant, coaching analyst for the Edmonton Elks. What does that mean? We'll find out from Rick himself. We're going to hear from Matthias Ekholm, Zach Hyman, and more after Connor Halley Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. You're looking for a vehicle? Better place to shop than goauto.ca. Over 15,000 vehicles for you to choose from. goauto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers and Kraken down at Rogers Place. Puck drop 7 o'clock. Pre-game coverage at 6. Vander Walker and Donovan Paulson. Elsewhere, you got the Stars and Bruins. Sabres host the Islanders. Canadian in Tampa. Panthers host the Sens. Red Wings, Penguins, and the Jackets up against the Hurricanes. In the majors, Blue Jays taking on the Rockies, looking to bounce back from yesterday. First pitch, 5:07. Tough news for right-hander Cody Ponce. He's even diagnosed with an ACL sprain in his right knee and will miss significant time. Elsewhere, the Marlins taking on the White Sox. Phillies host the Nationals. Athletics head to Atlanta. The Cubbies taking on the Angels. And the Astros hosting the Red Sox. You've also got the Mariners and Yankees at 7:40 in the association. Raptors taking on the Pistons. That one gets going at 6 o'clock. The Oil Kings in Saskatoon for Game 3 tonight. Currently tied at a game apiece. Puck drop at 7. And then the AJ Drumheller hosting Camrose in Game 7 of their series. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll get to former NHLer and Shoresy star Terry Ryan. Also Dave McCarthy of Sirius XM. And we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Afternoon.
With the lead up to the playoffs underway, players are definitely stepping up their game.
And the fans are doing the same. Simple snacks like chips and dip may work at the front half of the season, but now more and more fans are rocking the Wilhauk beef jerky for game time get-togethers.
Just make sure you bring enough for everyone if you want to be invited back for the playoffs.
Make your next hockey game day a Will Hockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky, only available in Leduc. Get yours today because you don't win games with salad.
At GS Construction, every winter plan becomes a spring project. Every repaired line and every improved system is how we build the next chapter of Edmonton's infrastructure. And we can't do that without the best and the brightest in the field. That's why right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators who can step in and hit the ground running. With a people-first mentality, career growth, and comprehensive benefits, why would you want to work anywhere else? To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Edmonton sports fans stay informed with Sports 1440. Stream us. Listen to us on the AM dial. However you consume this radio station, thanks for listening.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Spring into savings at The Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals. And buy more, save more, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game and save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 15% when you buy 2 or more select.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Edmonton Oilers. Oilers fans, season seats have never been easier. Sign up for first to access full, half, and quarter seats starting at only $28 per week by visiting edmontonoilers.com/season seats.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
It's after 3 o'clock. How are you, Jason Gregor? Connor Halling, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Always brought to you by our title sponsor, playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Casino, lotteries, instance, live. Just remember, if you do wager, use your GameSense, to find out more and to stay within your limits. Oilers, Kraken tonight. Oilers win, and they can pull within 2 points of the Anaheim Ducks. A Kraken win, and they would tie Nashville and actually technically move ahead of them because they'd still have a game in hand for the second wild card spot. So lots on the line tonight. There's also 9 other games, many of them with playoff implications. We'll get to all that and more. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 is where you can text us. So we got some texts coming in. Also, if you want to go to the game tonight, just realized I got a pair of tickets that we'll auction off here. It's that time of the year for Gregor Foundation. We always have a few kids coming in late, and I'm kind of soft to like say no. So $400 gets a whole thing. So, well, you know what? Whatever you want for the tickets today, 833-401-1440. They're great seats. Lower bowl. Oilers attack twice, so you can watch the Oilers and the Kraken. Oilers are 14-4 all time, including 7-1 at home against the Kraken. So the odds say pretty good chance you can see a win. So you want to go to the game and help out a kid get some clothes for the grad? 833-401-1440. We'll do this till about 5, give you some time to get to the game. As we welcome in Terry Ryan to the show, former first-round selection of the Montreal Canadiens. Stars as Hitch on Shoresy and many other films. Also, of course, on a TV commercial with Connor McDavid. And TR was reminiscing about bringing his mullet back again. Quite liked it. TR, how you doing? But I think you got yourself muted. So there we go.
I did again.
Jeez,
Man, even when I'm on my phone, I can't get away from that mute button. Anyway, thanks for asking. I'm doing great. I had some hockey cards show up. I have some retro hockey cards coming out, Upper Deck. I can't even believe I'm saying those words, but they're in a signature series, and I got to sign a bunch of these things, and I think like 1,000 or more. But anyway, so it's been.
Are they a combination of like your time in Montreal, and then is there a Hitch picture on the side of it, or is it just?
I should have brought one down here because I got 1,000 upstairs.
Well, you
no,
bring it down to the next break.
What's that? Yeah, I'll
Okay.
bring it back next break. There you go. I'll talk about it next break. But other than that, weather's looking pretty good. I'm going to see the Jays and Dodgers 3 in a row next week. Looking forward to that. My daughter goes to Toronto for soccer purposes, and I was going to the game on the 7th anyway, but I had a few things to do, a few meetings, I guess, of sorts, and I'm going to have those at the Jays on Monday and Wednesday. So I'll go to all 3. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yes. Well, hopefully the Jays have a better performance than yesterday. That was a tough one. They lose it. It looked like a hyperextended knee. Hopefully that's all it is for the big man, but we'll find out. Did you, and I know we're going to talk to Dave McCarthy about it, but did you happen to catch any of the Keith Pelly press conference today after the firing of their general manager, Brad Treliving, which is not a surprise. I understand why they let go of the GM. He's responsible for taking over a team that was pretty good and making them way worse. But, man, if I was a Toronto fan, I came away with nothing of confidence that Pelly and them even know what they're doing. They didn't really hey, what happened this year? We weren't prepared for the bus of Montreal and Buffalo. I'm like, what the hell does that happen to do with your team? It's irrelevant. You lost 6 points this year from what you had last year against those two teams. You still wouldn't be a playoff team. That answer combined with, well, we're not tanking, even though I looked at the history of the Leafs, guess what? They actually drafted really well for a long period of time. Now, not so much lately after the second round, but the history of this team, when you trade away your first round picks and what happens is not good. Of course you should be tanking this year. The fact that he was all adamant, we're not tanking. I'm like, oh my God, this guy has no clue what they're doing.
Honestly, I'm a Leafs fan. I listened to that and I'm almost nauseous. When he said we didn't see the train coming, are you crazy? That are the Buffalo Sabres and the Montreal Canadiens. First of all, Montreal made the playoffs last year, and they've been building on this. They've been openly vocal about it for half a decade, saying exactly what they're doing. They did it. They were getting better. And obviously at some point, they're either going to overtake or they're going to be right there. And to not see the train coming means you're unaware completely. And if all your fan base can see it and are yelling at the TV and you come on there and say that to me, it's almost like it's one thing to have a bad team and be in a bad circumstance. But when you hear people in charge talk about it and you come to the realization that they know less about it than you do. I'm serious. Those words, even Buffalo, of course they didn't make the playoffs for 13 years. But come on, they're loaded with young players. Everybody was saying, when is this going to happen? If they didn't see that coming and they're an hour down the road in a league that has all those teams and they could have had pro scouts or whatever. You don't need that. All you need to do is watch TV or listen to the radio. But come on, you didn't see that happening. And now the thing is, the Leafs are in a position where I just can't see. I see them being, I don't want to say worse, but because I really don't know, but they don't look as promising as Buffalo did last year. Buffalo didn't make it. And again, it was the end of a long run of not making the playoffs, but the 13 years ago team had nothing to do with last year's team. You must have seen that happening. And now Buffalo are in, and the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't close to as good as Buffalo were last year. They don't have anything coming. They got nothing in the city. They got no picks. God, I don't know. I don't know what you say. Well, tank it. Yeah, even tanking isn't as effective because you've traded everything away. Now, you still got, people are down on Matthews, Nylander. I know Tavares is old, and he's 36 years old. Riley's probably not going to be a part of the future, but even I'm listening to Keith Pelly. I'm going, do you even understand what, those players aren't gritty. That's it. They're not. Yeah. Now, there's been players that aren't gritty that end up but you got to really you got to have some idea what personnel to bring in rather than just look at a stat sheet. I don't know. To me, it was disheartening as a hockey fan. If I'm a Leafs fan, I'm looking at, I'm going, man, I thought maybe we were sniffing it shortly. I've been waiting since 1967, since most Leafs fans since before they were born. And that's what you got now. To me, that looked like a decade of nothingness ahead.
Yeah, it was an odd press conference for sure. Looking at the Kraken Oiler game tonight, the Oilers, as Matthias Ekholm said, hey, it's 3 or 4 good games. We don't think that suddenly we're the team to beat. But I like what he said. He goes, you know what? You have to turn it up as you get close to the playoffs. And we're starting to do that. So kudos to us to have the ability, because when you're sluggish all year, sometimes you don't get it turned around. And it was an interesting comment from Ekholm that he feels like that we are starting to see a turn. And I don't think this was just a 1 or 2 game. They've played, I would say, 7 or 8 of their last 10 pretty solid games. I just didn't like the Florida game at all. Tampa actually wasn't bad until they missed on the 5-on-3. But the Florida game was horrific, and the Dallas game I didn't like either. But other than that, they've been pretty good overall, TR. And Murphy and Nurse as a pair, like I would argue Darnell Nurse's last 4 games have been the best 4 consecutive games he's played all year long by a significant margin.
You wouldn't be the only one to say that. But there's an example. The Oilers are playing pretty well. I mean, they're playing real good. There's parts of their game that look the best it has all year. But again, they're without, to go back, just I hate dwelling on the Leafs, but that's what I mean. They lost Marner, which was big, and Tanev is large. Marner, I mean, that's the elephant in the room. Obviously, they lost him, and he's one of the best playmakers of his generation, setting up one of the best scorers. You lose one part. It's tough to put it all together when you don't have the personnel. But the Oilers are doing this again without Draisaitl. I'm telling you, they're deep. They know what they're doing. When it gets to this time of year, they always turn it up. So I have every bit of confidence. You talk about fan bases. If I'm an Oilers fan, I feel pretty good about this. Now, do we have I haven't seen anything on Draisaitl. Like, is he set to come back for the playoffs?
That's the plan at this stage, yes.
Okay. Well, I think you're getting a rejuvenated, rested Draisaitl, and the team in many areas is playing definitely better than they have the vast majority of the year. They're bottling up. I didn't like the Florida game either, but they're bottling up teams. Their defense, other than, there's mistakes are going to happen. But when you look at them, they look way more confident in their own zone. Oddly enough, they're winning, and their power play doesn't look great. But I mean, you got Draisaitl coming back, which is probably one of the best power play. You mentioned generational players. He's one of the best power play performers of his generation or any other generation, man. And he's coming back. So I wouldn't be so worried about the power play, but it definitely got to pick up better than it is.
Well, the power play I think it just shows you how important it is. And hey, I've said this all along. Draisaitl, their power play is the best when he's the trigger man. He's got the most power play goals in the NHL over the last 5 years. He's got the most power play goals over the last decade. Like he's a dominant power play performer. Like you look at in the last 5 years, he's got 109 power play goals. McDavid's got 58. Like it's no who's the trigger man, who's the passer. We get it. So you take away something that has worked very well for you. It's hard. Like I actually thought the Anaheim game, they had 2 really good looks. They just didn't bury him. Like Hyman Fan on the one chance, but they started to figure out a little bit. You just have to move the puck different, right? Is all they have to do. And the problem is you do move it different, but you also lose arguably the best passer in the game, forehand, backhand combined in Draisaitl, right? So he's not just a great shooter, he's a great passer. And it's hard, even though the other guys are skilled, when you've done something for 5 years, I think it's hard to just replace it and be like, oh, okay, we'll just, like if no offense, you replace Nuge, and even Nuge is a little bit harder to replace, but he's not not one of the main 2 guys. When the 2 main guys get taken away, everything else just falls apart a bit.
And look, for me, as a player that always wanted to play on the power play and be offensive, I'm looking at Draisaitl. It's one thing that he can make those passes, right? So you're missing a great passer, but it's when he makes them. He's got so much patience. I don't know that I've seen, 5 players ever with better patience. So he waits, and he'll just wait for you to bite a little bit. And when he gives it to the player, he's open. Like even if it's just a fraction of a second, but that's what you need in front of the net to get it off. And if not, he takes shots from incredibly hard angles and makes it look easy that most players would never. If I shot it from there, I'd probably be benched, and didn't score. So he's got that confidence, but it's the confidence and the patience. And that together with being a really skilled passer, to me, that's the peak of Edmonton when they're at their best on the power play. It's like, they've got real smart hockey IQs, but with him, it's the patience. And usually at some point when he gets it or whoever he gives it to, they're open for a shot. And when you're on the power play, it's just the law of averages. It goes in a little bit more.
Quick break. Dave McCarthy joins us next. It's a Gregor Show with Terry Ryan, Connor Halley on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries. Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play.
Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Exciting news from St. Albert Dodge. The all-new 2026 Jeep Gladiator Sport packages have arrived. They have a great selection and a bunch of colors to choose from. And if you've checked out the Sport, you know it comes in some fun colors. Rugged capability, practical off-road features, and you can get behind the wheel for as low as $49,900. That's right. Put yourself in a brand new Jeep Gladiator Sport for less than $50,000. What more can you ask for? Time to head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice. WEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Your selection slamming products from the best brands. Legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get
Can you send those on Instagram? I can't.
Today. Noodle, 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 noodle,
I can see them, but it's blurry. I got an Android.
Noodle, 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 oodle, noodle, noodle.
Troll low down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open. Do you listen to sports radio at work? Like right now? Well, do you?
Who, me? No way. I swear.
Okay, friend, we won't tell. Tens of thousands of sports fans listen to Sports 1440 each and every day. On the radio, on the listening apps, on YouTube, and on social media. If you listen to Sports 1440 at work, well, maybe it's time to advertise on Sports 1440 at work. Grow your business. Get your name out there. Shoot our ad team an email. Gregor at sports1440.ca. Let's get to work for you.
Open your mind to saving up to 25% on select tires at Fountain Tire. Okay. Visualize mail-in rebates of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires. I see it. And now, $50 off a $150 service with the purchase of 4 select tires. Amazing. But how do you do this in a sidecar? It's surprisingly spacious. Offer ends April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book at FountainTire.com. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Ride for Dad is back. Join Sports 1440 as we help raise funds and awareness for the fight against prostate cancer. The ride starts Saturday, June 13th at Blackjack's Roadhouse. Register online at ridefordad.ca and find more info at sports1440.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people that know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3:28. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Howley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely day on a Tuesday afternoon. It is game day as the Oilers take on the Seattle Kraken. Tonight, no lineup changes for the Oilers. Connor Ringer will start. Trent Frederick is close. Probably Thursday you could see him in the lineup. I think you'll see Tristan Jarry start on Thursday and then have Ingram back in net Saturday night against the Vegas Golden Knights as the Oilers wrap up a 3-game homestand, and then they go on the road for 3, and then 2 more games at home, and then it's playoffs, baby. As we're going to go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. For over 53 years, they've grown and become one of the most diversified electrical contractors in the province. If you need solar, they can help you. Project, service, tech, they got it all at actionelectrical.net. As Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM, a regular guest every Tuesday, joins us. Davey, how you doing?
Good. Just rolled back in the door from an interesting press conference downtown earlier this afternoon.
Hey, we'll get to that. TR, did you get the card?
No, I'll have it next one.
I'll get the card the next break. I was going to say you could. So TR's got a new hockey card, Dave. I'm not sure if you're a hockey card collector. So retro TR cards, you might have to find.
Wow. That's hey, they don't just put anybody on retro cards. So clearly they've come for the right guy here.
We'll talk about it next week, Davey. I'm at the Jays 6th, 7th, and 8th, all LA. We'll talk about it after.
Okay. Might have to get down to a Jays game.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, well, TR, basically, you know what it means when you're retro, right? It means you're old as dirt. That's what
certainly does. It's harder to tell with me, though, because I still got hair on my head.
Yeah, but you do. Yeah, you're looking good. You're looking younger. It's all that moisturizing cream you use. It's awesome. It's a good move.
All the moisturizing cream.
Dave, you mentioned the press conference. There was very little meat on the bone in that press conference. It's like, you know what? We want someone who's, lots into data, but didn't really go into use the term without actually explaining exactly what they're looking for. But another thing that I just found comical is, why do you have to have co-intern GMs? That's the part that really just I'm like, why? Why do you have to have it's like you can't even make a simple decision of handing someone an intern GM job. We have to give it to 2 people.
It is.
When there's really not much to do.
Yeah, I found that a little surprising. It just seems to complicate the matter at this point. Not that there's a lot to do between now and the time that Keith Pelly says he'd like to have the successful candidate in place. And he said he'd like to have somebody by the middle of May, certainly before the draft in June, ideally, end of May before the combine. So that's kind of the timeline. Not a lot to do. It does seem a little strange you have to go with 2 and not just 1. What I would say is that I don't think you come away, if you're a Leaf fan, particularly inspired by that press conference. And now press conferences are press conferences, right? There's nothing really that can be said that is going to assuage the concerns of a lot of Leaf fans right here in the moment and put it to bed. Because ultimately in this business, you hire somebody that you think is the best candidate, you empower them, and then you hope that it works. There are no guarantees that if you go through this process and that strategy and you come up with candidate X and that you guarantee. So, we'll see what happens. But I found it somewhat surprising that they did not, that Keith Pelly did not convey the structure with which he wants to build the management team, even at one point saying that may come down after we interview candidates. And I guess you can make the case that it's good that he's not closing his mind off to anything, but it really did come off as we'll just figure it out as we go along type feeling, which doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. Really, the only thing of tangibility, if that's a word, was that the next candidate will be heavily data focused, if not a data guy themselves, but then someone who has a willingness and an open-mindedness to utilize data. I did find that strange to an extent, because I was told under Kyle Dubas and Brad Treliving that Daryl Metcalf, who runs the Leafs data department, had a seat at the table that was every bit as equal as everyone else at the table. So is that a shot at Darryl Metcalf saying we don't like the way he formulates data? Is that a shot at Brad Treliving saying we didn't like the way he utilized and put into action the data he was given? But it's not like they had a void of data within the front office. So I found that a little surprising as well. And I just hope that it's not something like in politics where, you elect one party and then people get sick of them. And so you elect the other party and then we swing the pendulum all the way back to the other side. And 3.5 years later, everyone says, we wish we had those guys back. I hope that's not the case here, where you went from, data with Kyle Dubas, and maybe you swung a little bit too far away from that with just trying to get physical and trying to get big. Let's not swing all the way back the other way to where it's only data, and also lose the importance of the intangibles, which I will continue to maintain also matter in hockey in a way that maybe they don't in other sports, but they sure damn well do in hockey still.
TR?
Dave, the Toronto Maple Leafs seem bereft of hope. They get laughed at for losing, and they get completely ripped for winning. It's a tough time to be a Leaf. Do you think they handled the Radko Gudas situation well last night?
Just one question on that as an aside. Did you use the word bereft because I tweeted about it last week?
You got it. I'm not very vocal on Twitter, but I try to follow my favorite people. And
clearly,
it is a word that's not used enough, and it's not a hard word. So I'm going to start. You inspired me. There you go.
Thank you. Look, they had to do something. It would have been quite an indictment on the group if they had gone through that game and thrown a no-hitter. So I like the fact that Max Domi went out and addressed it right away. I also love the fact that Radko Gudas, who was in a walking boot a couple of days ago, decided that I'm playing, if for no other reason that it was the right thing to do, but also so that the Leo Carlsons and the Beckett Senecas and the Cutter Gauthiers do not have to bear my burden. I've been telling people for years, you may not like what he does on the ice. Good man, Radko Gudas. And he did what was right by the code. And I'm more convinced than anything, he didn't even throw a punch on purpose. He stood in, took his licking like a man. And I think you got to respect him for it. So I like that Domi handled it right away. And then, look, I get Michael Pezzetta trying to make an impact on the game when he's given the opportunity. I never want to take that away from the guy because, my goodness, there have been too many guys that have been given opportunities that just seem to float through games and end up with a stat line of 0, 0, 0 hits, 0 blocks, like zeros all over the place. So I like the fact that he was trying to make an impact on the game. But in order to make an impact on the game, you have to remain in the game. And if the moment doesn't present itself, you can't get physical with the official. I thought that was silly on his part. Otherwise, I didn't mind it, because if they had done nothing, they would have gotten ripped. Was there a degree of performativeness to it last night? Yes, the moment had passed, and yes, it was one of those, we have to do this, and they did. And so I didn't mind that. But the only way this is going to really be a question that's answered moving forward, Terry, is if it just becomes standard practice that when someone takes liberty with anybody on your team, it's a pack mentality. We can't do this as a one-off. That needs to be the mindset. Went through it in Toronto a few years ago when, Bradley Marchand dumped Timothy Liljegren into the corner and screwed up his ankle. And there was the old humana, didn't see it. Nothing happened. Then, Ryan Reeves held a players' closed-door meeting after that, and we came out with, we really got to make sure we do it. And then they did it for a couple games, and then it clearly stopped again. So it can't be cyclical. It's got to become the standard practice if the Leafs are going to learn anything by it, and we'll only know that with time. but at least they took a step in the right direction. Let's see if it holds.
Do you think the Las Vegas Golden Knights are in a better position now with John Tortorella leading them into the playoffs?
I mean, I saw he was wearing a suit last night instead of a quarter zip, but my question is, can he put the goaltending gear on?
Yeah, I know.
So, that's really what it's going to come down to. I had this argument with somebody on Twitter the other day who was making the case that, their numbers look good. Why do you fire the coach? This is such panic over process. Cool, man. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the balancing act between data and intangibles. Cool. Wasn't even a man. Point is, they get caved in every day and they lose. So, Kelly McCrimmon feels he has a good team. Was it a little bit panic? Yeah, it was. But he feels he's got more there for the players to give, that if they play to their level, they can contend for a Stanley Cup. And so they weren't willing to let the season just fizzle off into the abyss. They're trying something. Yeah, it's panic. Will it matter? Well, it'll get the attention of the locker room. That it will do, right? And some guys who may not be playing to the emotional level, right, that we talked about earlier. There's a component of that you need to have in your game that's really important to have success. You can have all the skill in the world, but if you just go out there and float through the motions and Pepe Le Pew it around the ice and you hope that skill alone is enough to get you by, it will not. If you have all of that skill and you play with some emotion and some feeling in your game, now we're talking. And so that's what Kelly McCrimmon is hoping John Tortorella will be able to impart on the team. But ultimately, at the end of the day, boys, if they cannot get a stop on a consistent basis, and I'm not even talking about top 2 or 3 level goals, I'm just talking about the ones that simply cannot go in the net. Keep those out. Keep those out of the net. If they can't get that, Scotty Bowman, whoever it is you put behind the bench, pick your favorite coach of all time, it won't matter.
Very true. You look at a few other teams here, Dave, and we're nearing the end of the regular season, and so the Maple Leafs have made their move. And you look at some of the other teams that are clearly out of it. I think the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, they haven't made much improvement yet, but they kind of expected it. The Vancouver Canucks, I guess they could change a coach again. I don't know. Like, they might want to change their owner. I'm not sure if they can. But the New York Rangers, the Winnipeg Jets, you think Scott Arniel's in trouble in Winnipeg? And what about the St. Louis Blues? Like, I know they've had this little surge here, but at the end of the day, the Blues still might be a bottom 5 team.
Yeah, they might be. Like, from a personnel standpoint, I just think St. Louis is more mid than anything else. They've got a bunch of good to very good players. They don't have one game breaker on that roster. To me, Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, they're both very good players to me, but they're not in the same stratosphere as a McDavid or a Draisaitl. Or a McKinnon, or a Mikko Rantanen on Dallas, or a Kirill Kaprizov on Minnesota. They're a team to me where if they play to their ceiling, they should be a wild card team, if not, maybe a number 3 team in a division. But I just don't see them having a ceiling where even if they play to their best collectively as a group, they'll ever be looked at as a favorite beyond the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I don't know if it's so much coaching as it is personnel in St. Louis. They need to get some better players. It's hard to get those guys on your team. I think they've got pieces there to be competitive, but it's tough to win nowadays unless you have an elite level player in a key position, if not, probably 2, maybe 3 on your team. So that's the challenge for St. Louis. I think Winnipeg, I think they feel like they should be better. So I would be a little concerned if I'm Scott Arniel. You took Nikolai Ehlers off that team. He moved elsewhere in free agency last year. I think, one, that really impacted them. It misslotted a lot of guys in the lineup to positions that maybe they necessarily shouldn't be in. But I still think they feel they've got a team there that's better than what they've shown. They're probably going to end up, thanks to geography, not far from a playoff spot. If they were in the East, the narrative would be entirely different because they'd be like 14 points out of a playoff spot. But what really caved them in was in the middle of the season where they lost every night. I think they lost like 12, 13, 14 games in a row, something like that. And they just completely fell out of it. I kind of, in hindsight, wonder if it might have been time to try a coaching change there, like Columbus did at around the same time. Columbus was a group that I thought was dramatically underperforming. I thought would be way better coming into the year. I said it in October, and I was really surprised where they were at. They made a coaching change, and it's transformed their group. I think Winnipeg is better than we have seen, and they've never really been able to get to a consistent game to a point where it's had enough time left for it to matter. They're chasing it right now, and when you chase the season, especially at this point in the year, it's just so hard to gain ground. So I think they've got a better group, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not calling for it, but I wouldn't be surprised if a change was made there.
Yeah. Davey, always good to catch up to. We'll talk to you on the brunch on Sunday. And last one for you. It's funny because every week I don't think the answer gets any clearer. Like, it's a great race in the Eastern Conference right now. Like the Montreal Canadiens, I think I'm going to eliminate them from being a team that's not making the playoffs. I put them in the playoffs. I think Carolina, Tampa, Buffalo, those teams are all in. Then you got Boston's in a pretty good spot at 92 points, the number one wild card team. Then you got the Penguins, the Islanders, the Blue Jackets, the Sens, the Red Wings, the Flyers. Can any of the Senators, Red Wings, Flyers make it? And if they do, who are they knocking out?
Yeah, like huge win for Pittsburgh yesterday against the Islanders. That was impressive to see. And despite the fact that they seem to be undermanned, they got Crosby back. They just seem to find a way to keep picking up points. So I'm pretty confident in Pittsburgh that they're going to find a way. Who's falling out right now? You know what? The only team that I think has a chance is Philadelphia, but I'm not. In order for them to get in, someone's got to come out, and I don't see anybody coming out at this point. It's tight, but I think Columbus is going to find a way. Like, I know their mindset is in the right place. They were really angry with how last season ended. They felt they deserved a better fate. They felt they shot themselves in the foot. So they've learned that lesson, and they understand it. They're drawing on something here. They've had a couple of lessons here in the last week or two where they've let some games get away that have, I guess, reestablished the message. I don't think they're going to let this opportunity slip by. Ottawa, I'm not confident in. Detroit, I think they're in tailspin mode, and it's just too much panic that's set in. Philadelphia, the vibes are good, and they're really feeling good about themselves as a group. Getting Porter Martone in, which I think adds a little bit of an injection of youth, and it just you drop a young guy like that into the lineup, it kind of revitalizes your group. It's like a trade at this point of the year. So I think that is good for the group. They've gone on such a run to get to this point. They're still not even in, and they got 9 games left. It's a lot to ask of a younger team, but if you pick any of the 3 teams that are out right now that have to get in, Ottawa, Detroit, or Philadelphia, I think the Flyers feel best about themselves as a group right now. And so if I had to bet, I'd bet on them, but I don't know if Columbus is going to fall either. And that's what Philadelphia needs, is for someone to falter. Otherwise, they can't get where they need to be.
Awesome. Davey, great stuff, buddy. Chat with you on Sunday.
See you, boys.
There you go. That's Davey McCarthy from Sirius XM, Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan. We're going to come back. We're going to hear from Matthias Ekholm, Zach Hyman, and more. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Whether it's a house, a gas station, an apartment complex, or any new building going up above ground, the work always starts below ground. And that's where you'll find GS Construction. GS Construction ensures the first step, relocating utilities, installing new ones, and building the underground systems, is taken to make progress possible. But the work can't start without you. GS Construction is currently on the lookout for experienced top men, pipe layers, and operators. To apply, visit gsconstruction.ca.
On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just West Ave and 118th.
If you've got a smart speaker, get it to play Sports 1440.
And it doesn't matter when you listen as we roll out the sports talk
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Edmonton's home for sports radio is Sports 1440.
Mr. Rooter kinda speaks French. Je m'appelle Monsieur Rooter. Je suis plombier.
Très bien, Mr. Rooter. Your name is Mr. Rooter, and you are in fact a plombier, a plumber. You are an excellent student.
Au contraire, mon frère, je suis un excellent étudiant. Also, I'm not here for a French lesson. I'm here because someone clogged up the toilets.
Ah, oui, right this way.
For a plumber who speaks your language, call Mr. Rooter.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
When life unexpectedly changes, it can leave us feeling unbalanced, uncertain, and unsure of how to move forward. But you don't have to go through it alone. I'm Corey Anderson with Fairway Divorce Solutions. Our team helps reestablish balance, guiding you through your divorce with compassion, clarity, and support. Fairway has helped more than 6,500 families across Canada find a path towards a peaceful, fair resolution. With 2 offices in Edmonton, we're here to make your journey easier. Discover your options at Fairway Divorce.
Sherwood Honda is home of the GOAT. That's your greatest offer all time. And they have plenty of pre-owned GOATs that they got on a trade. Every used vehicle they sell goes through a 182-point inspection and comes with a vehicle history report. Because peace of mind is an essential part of getting your GOAT. And Sherwood Honda sure would want you to buy with complete confidence.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Contractors, spring cleanup is coming. It's time to get your lawnmowers, aerators, power rakes, lawn vacs, and more serviced at the Lawnmower Hospital. Hey, the longer you wait, the longer you'll have to wait in line later. Their service department gets crazy busy as the season rolls on, so get in now while it's calm. For quick service on top brands like Bluebird, Ryan Turf, Husqvarna, and more, check out lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
3:53. Oh, man. Italy is out. They're not coming to the World Cup. Bosnia beat them in penalty kicks, and Canada will open up their World Cup in Canada against Bosnia.
Incredible.
That is wild, ATR.
Isn't it, or am I wrong?
Oh, Italy's the 12th. Italy came in ranked 12th in the world. Bosnia.
And didn't they miss another one recently?
No, they missed 3 in a row now.
Okay, so 3. I don't understand it. Aren't Italia this big powerhouse? They're missing World Cups.
Italy is
teams are in it, like 50?
Well, this year there'll be more, 64. Yeah. Now, but and it's not always necessarily the best 64 teams because you have to play your way in, right? But hey, they obviously couldn't beat Bosnia, who is, I think, Connor, what'd you say, ranked 61st in the world?
66.
Come on, 66.
Man. Italy did take a red card in the first half as well, so down a man. But
I know, I saw that. Hey, that is. But even you look at when Bosnia, played Wales and beat them, and then Italy's reaction afterwards, like, oh, we'd rather play Bosnia. Like that always comes back to you, man.
Always.
Like always, right? So that's why
the worst thing to say.
Yes, and I look at you know what, it's good and bad. It's bad because I think there's a lot of Canadian Italians that would have been an unreal atmosphere of the game for sure. Yeah. But it's good for the Canadian men's team because let's be honest, on paper, Bosnia is not as good. Now that doesn't mean on the pitch on that day they won't be. But if you're Canada and you had to pick, they'll never say it publicly, but I can. Of course, you'd rather play Bosnia than play Italy in the World Cup. So that is that's better for Canada and gives them a chance to a better chance to potentially move to the next round and get through. So that's but that is huge news, man. 3 in a row, the Italians. So who are they? What are they like there? Are they the Chargers of soccer or the Maple Leafs of soccer? I'm not sure. Like which team chokes more?
They'll go a decade and a half in the end without even being in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But they've won a Euro in that time frame.
Yes, they did win a Euro.
so
is there something I'm not understanding about this?
They just haven't been able to get it done in qualifying.
Look at the history of Italian soccer. Do they often lose to Bosnia, or am I crazy?
No.
Nothing against Bosnia. I just think of Italy as one of the world superpowers of soccer, football, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not 64 teams; it's 48 teams up.
48. Okay.
Yeah, 32 from it used to be 32. Now it's up to 48. And but it's not always necessarily the top 48 ranked nations because obviously you got to play your way into it, and that's why Bosnia is in now and Italy is out. So,
for the record, TR, Italy had won 5 of their last 4 coming into this one, with a draw mixed in. So you're right; they've
won 4 of their last 5. You mean?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that'd be the one. Yeah, they lost back in 1996, 2-1 in a friendly, but since then they've had a lot of success.
Till now, buddy. Until now, it's all about show up when it matters, man. In sports, the best team doesn't always win. And it's the greatest lesson to teach kids. They look at the standings sometimes and they're U9 and U11 and U13. Oh, this team, doesn't matter. On any given day, that's why they say, on any given day, anyone can win. It can happen. Now, doesn't always happen, but as proven by today, upsets will happen in sports in big moments. And, the Italians, that's got to be brutal. Like Cons, as you said, it's softened a little bit because at least they managed to win a Euro in between then. But 2026, 2022, 2018, no World Cups for Italy. That's, basically they haven't been in it. By the time, if they get in 2030, it'll be 16 years since they were in it. Wow. That's like a generation of some fans. It's like, man, I've never seen Italy in the World Cup. Right? If you're right now, so 2012, we're talking 14 years. So, you know what? If you'd have been 6, maybe you remember it. Maybe you don't. But, if you're 16 to 20, 10 to 20, you've never seen your country in the World Cup. You're like, what the hell is going on? How can we be good at every other time, but
if that
not
country was Papua New Guinea, I'd understand it. The country's Italian.
Yeah.
We're talking about Italy. I don't know. Maybe do they need to overhaul? I know nothing. I know just a little bit more than nothing. So, about Italian soccer, but something is amiss. if it's once every 4 years, so they're missed 12 years is 3 tournaments. But if a powerhouse like Colorado Avalanche or the Edmonton Oilers didn't make the playoffs for 3 years, like not even the playoffs, they're not even in it. Like heads would be rolling, and something must be amiss. Maybe no bother to me. I just think places like Little Italy and all these places, and there's so many Italian Canadians that it would have made for a little bit better of an atmosphere. But I barely care about that. I'm rooting for Canada, obviously, and this will just make it. We're not going to get rid, but it makes the road. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, buddy.
Okay, jeez, I thought you were gone. I don't. It makes the road seem a little less tenuous. And not only that, I'm sure there's a lot of Bosnian Canadians, but Italian Canadians can be annoying, and they can be this every year when soccer comes around, with one or the other Euro playdowns or the World Cup, whatever it is, they can be pretentious. So they're not even part of the equation. They can just go back to rooting for Canada.
TR, Oilers tonight. What happens?
The Oilers are going to win 5-2. Zach Hyman's going to get 2 goals and an assist. J.D. Dickinson is going to get 2 points. And McDavid will continue his ferocious play without a side of Draisaitl with 3 points as well.
All right. TR, we will chat at you on Thursday.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Edmonton. And I'll catch you guys soon.
There you go. That is Terry Ryan. We'll come back. We got Struddy. We're going to hear from Hyman. We're going to hear from Ekholm. We got our stats of the day, man. We got a busy hour in the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Con Man Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. If you're looking for tires, maybe need an oil change, vehicle repairs, you can do it all in one stop. FountainTire.com. Book your appointment today.
The Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. Oilers in action, hosting the Seattle Kraken. Puck drop just after 7. Pre-game coverage coming your way at 6 with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro. Elsewhere, you got the Stars and the Bruins. Islanders meet the Sabres, Panthers, Sens. Devils take on the Rangers. Penguins hosting the Red Wings. The Canes in Columbus. And the Blackhawks hosting the Winnipeg Jets. In the majors, Toronto Blue Jays looking to bounce back from yesterday's loss to the Rockies. First pitch set for 5:07. Tough one for Jays right-hander Cody Ponce. He's been diagnosed with an ACL sprain in his right knee and will miss significant time. In the association, Toronto Raptors in action. They'll take on the Pistons just after 6 o'clock. The Oil Kings in Saskatoon for Game 3 of their best of 7. Currently tied at a game apiece. Puck drop at 7. And then the AJ, Drumheller hosting Camrose, Game 7 of their series. Italy will miss the World Cup for the 3rd consecutive tournament after falling to Bosnia and Herzegovina in penalty kicks. With that, Canada will kick off the event against Bosnia June 12th in Toronto. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Rick Campbell, Edmonton Elks new coaching analyst, Jason Strudwick, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. Stingray Radio Station. CKJR. Broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, healing doesn't have to feel heavy, because in our SwimX aquatic therapy pools, you literally float your way to recovery. Whether you're dealing with arthritis, back pain, joint injuries, post-surgical rehab, chronic pain, balance issues, mobility challenges, or just feeling a little creaky, warm water and gentle resistance have your back, your knees, and your hips. Trusted by pro sports teams and rehab hospitals, our SwimX pools help you move sooner, hurt less, and recover faster. So take the load off. Let the water do the work. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Great news for your weekend project. CFI, that's Custom Floors Inc., is now open 6 days a week with Saturday hours from 10 till 2. Get top quality Canadian products from Beaulieu with the convenience you need. For your free estimate, visit CFI at customfloorsinc.ca.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Sleep is for the off-season. What off-season? Sports 1440 is live, loud, and locked 24/7. Oilers, Elks, Riverhawks, Stingers, Oil Kings. We've got your fix. Edmonton's home for sports is Sports 1440.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
That's the 3 o'clock. How are you, Jason Gregor?
Stop you cold. At AWS Welding in Nisku, our factory-trained service techs are on hand for all welding equipment repairs. We're a fully warranted center for Miller, Lincoln,
Welcome back, Jason Gregor.
and we service all makes and models. Proper, regular service extends the life of your gear and keeps it running at peak capacity.
Italy.
Don't wait for a breakdown. Book your service appointment today at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. We make it happen. Every goal, every Selly. The place to cheer on your favorite team is Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Never a bad seat in the house with all games on tons of big screens. And Selly's menu, top shelf. Plus, check out the game night food and drink features. And don't miss the excitement of Oilers watch parties all season long. Experience Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations. Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
Every day is game day at Century Casino.
From the local links to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's Energy.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. For a limited time, get your favorite large specialty pizza from Papa John's for only $19.99. Use code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.407 Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely day. It is game day. And every day it's a game day. There's a little bit more excitement. There's lots going on. And you know what? We're going to do this hour because we got rid of those tickets in the first hour because one guy bid $500. We just said, that's great. So thanks for Steve for that. But we actually got another pair of tickets today for the game tonight. So what we're going to do here for a little fun is we're just going to do a blind. You get one bid. Maybe you'll get it for $50. Maybe no one else will bid. So you get a one blind bid for 2 seats, lower bolt at tonight's game. Okay? So we'll do that for this hour. Whoever comes in, and guess that's what makes it fun. You get one bid. $100, $80. Who knows? Maybe no one else bids. You'll win. Top bid at $459. We'll get the seats. 2 seats, lower bowl tonight if you want to go to the game. So might get a good deal. We'll have a little fun with that. So thanks for Steve for the $500 bid earlier. We appreciate that. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So let's see if you can outwit your other listeners if you want to go to the game tonight. Meanwhile, let's talk a little football as we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. Exciting BCHL playoff action. Get your tickets, sgsaints.ca. That brand new Larry Thompson Arena. It's fantastic. It's going to be great atmosphere. So check it out, sgsaints.ca. And earlier today, the Edmonton Elks made an announcement. A familiar face is coming back to Edmonton. Rick Campbell has signed on as a coaching analyst with the Green and Gold. And he joins us now. Rick, welcome back to the show.
I can't hear anything on my end.
How you doing? You can't hear me?
Can't hear anything on my end right now.
Oh, that's weird, because I can hear you and I can see you. So we'll have to try to get it figured out here. Cons or Deck will try to call him or figure something out, because I can see Rick, I can hear Rick, but he can't hear us, which is odd. Unfortunate. That would have to be, I would think, on his end. So we'll try to sort that out. If not, we'll just give him a call and away we go. But this is a very interesting move by the Green and Gold. Rick Campbell, if you were bringing in a coaching analyst, he's pretty qualified. When you look at look at his coaching career from the different organizations to the different roles that he has been as a head. Of course, he's been a head coach, right? He was a defensive back coach. He's a special teams coordinator. He's been a defensive coordinator. He's been a running backs coach. He's been an assistant head coach. He's been a co-general manager, for goodness sakes. Hasn't been an O-line coach. Hasn't been an OC or a receiver coach. I think that's it, right? D-line? No, it was a D coordinator, but never a D-line coach either. So we'll see. But we'll try to get Rick in on that. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. If you want to do your text, we got a few bids coming in. I can't say what they are. That's what makes it fun. Can't say what they are, but top bid will win at $459 for a pair of seats for tonight's game. Good seats. All right, so there we go. And we do have Rick. Rick, thanks for sticking through with us. Can you explain kind of, because I was I know you couldn't hear it, but I was like, man, Rick Campbell as a coaching analyst, the guy's coached almost every position on the field, so you definitely have expertise in a lot of it. What's going to be your main role as coaching analyst with the Green and Gold?
Yeah, good to talk to you again. So the big things off the bat is one is being an advanced opponent scout, particularly for the offense and for special teams. So my background is on defense and special teams. So that's going to be a big part of it. On that is that advanced scouting.
Okay.
There's going to be some other things with this 35-second clock coming in. That's going to be key to adapt to that in training camp and making sure you're good to go on that. That's going to be a huge adaptation for everybody, especially the offenses and the quarterbacks and the offensive coordinator, all those things. So making sure that's all good to go. And then I'm going to write up game management reports for all the games in the CFL and making sure just that good decisions are being made and being able to review that week by week. And I think it's a great fit for me as a head coach for 10 years. And just looking forward to kind of contribute to the team any way I can.
Well, that's fantastic. So when you write up a game management report, you're going to do it for all the games. So in that report, Rick, is it safe to say, so you're saying in second and six, they did this and they threw this and this is, and would you add in kind of why, or if it was the right call or the wrong call? Do you add any of that, or do you just outline in the game management exactly what occurred?
Yeah, it's going to be key situations in the game where big things are happening. Normally that could be at the end of the half or the end of the game, but it could be other points in the game where you just want to make sure you're doing the right things. And something I'm going to share with Killam and with Ed as needed, and with the rest of the coaching staff as needed. during the season, but just to have that extra eyes, that extra, I'd like to think my strengths are in experience and being around the game as long as I have. So hoping that just ups our game.
You've been in so many different roles, Rick. Can you kind of explain, because, I talked to Mark Killam afterwards, and until you're a head coach, you think you're prepared, and then you're like, oh, geez, I wasn't prepared for that, or I wasn't really sure about certain things, and you just learn as you go. I talked to Jason Moss, and, Jason Moss, a head coach, and probably no different. Rick Campbell, head coach in year 1, is a lot different than Rick Campbell, head coach in year 10, right? That progression, how much can you help Mark Killam in just kind of learning the head coaching position?
Yeah, well, one is Mark's an excellent coach, and he's a good head coach already. I think this is a luxury item. If you look at the NFL, thered be a whole bunch of guys helping out the head coach on replay, game management, all those things to help him out. So I think this is a luxury. I think Mark's going to be around a long time as a head coach. I'd like to think I was hitting my stride and that I was way better at year 10 than I was at year 1. And, that's something I want to do again. But I'm just hoping, I think it can be a good fit. I know Mark well. We work together in Calgary. I know we trust each other. I know I respect him as a person. He respects me as a person. So I just want to be another set of eyes and ears and, lend my experience and go from there.
Rick Campbell joins us, a new coaching analyst for the Edmonton Elks. And having been in the head coaching role for as long as you have, I think you understand, is there a time where do you kind of have to wait until Mark asks questions to want to inundate him with stuff, right? Knowing that as a head coach, you're just like you don't want to sometimes overburden a guy. So having coached that position, is it easier for you to fill this role because you'll kind of know when and where to give your input?
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be overbearing on people. Whether I was a coordinator and the head coach was talking to me too much, or if I was the head coach, I wouldn't want someone in my ear all the time. But you definitely utilize people when you're the head coach of people that are in the press box or situations on whether to review a call or whether to go for 2. A lot of big decisions that have to be made. And I think I have the right temperament, and I'm hoping I have the right mindset of knowing when to give him info and when to let it lie and let him do his thing.
So you talk about that the new 35-second clock. What do you think are going to be the biggest challenges from a coaching perspective?
Well, you're going to have to roll. I sat on the rules committee for 10 years, and these rules didn't come out of nowhere. So I know a lot of big thought was put into them and why it's at 35 seconds, but it's going to help the refs. It's actually going to help the flow of the game for the fans, and that actually will be good for the players too once they get used to it. And they've done it in college and the NFL. And I think it helps. And the only reason we didn't do it in the CFL is because our benches were on the same side, and you couldn't do it on the teams in the East because one team had to run further on the field than the other. So that's the reason it didn't happen in the past. But once they voted to put the benches on the opposite side of the field, which is great from a football flow point of view, just looking at it from the football team point of view, once you did that and you can put this 35-second clock in, coaches can't waste time trying to make decisions, trying to burn the clock when you're ahead in the game. So that's a huge gamesmanship thing in the CFL, was trying to burn the clock up. But when you have this automatic 35 seconds, there's none of that anymore. But you better have your act together and know the decisions you're making. Otherwise, you're going to take a lot of delay of game penalties.
Yeah, it is fascinating. That we got some other rule changes coming in over the next few years as well. And some people are like, they think it's Americanization of the game. Me personally, I don't really necessarily see that happening. What do you think when the field length changes, how does, do you think, and even with the uprights moving, do you think that's going to lead to more teams gambling on third down rather than punting from the 40-yard line, right? You might as well gamble on third down and short, correct?
100%. Again, we had these conversations when I was on the rules committee going back 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago. And that is one of the things that you can argue is going to be more exciting is when you're in that range of, like you said, in that 35-yard line, going in, and it's 3rd and 5, and it's too long to kick a field goal, but also you're not going to really want to punt. So teams are going to go for it more often, which you would say is going to make it more exciting for the fans, might make the head coaches lose a few hairs, but it's going to be a more exciting game from that standpoint. And then the key thing with the CFL is the width of the field with 65 yards. That's the whole thing that makes it more exciting on just having more space for the fast guys to run in and the 10 yards taking it out of the middle. I know from the traditionalist point of view, the 55-yard line's the 55-yard line, but you take 10 yards out in between the goal lines, and now everything's just going to happen quicker. The goal lines are 10 yards closer together than they were. So I'm hoping that it doesn't have that big of effect, and that you still have that big wide field and the big returns happening in the return game and all those things. So change can be hard for some people, but I know that a lot of thought was put into it. These aren't just random gimmicks. There's things that have been talked about over the years of just hoping to make the game more exciting.
So, Rick, in this coaching analyst role, you mentioned obviously you would love to get back. You're a young guy. You want to get back into coaching again in the CFL. Are you at the point, having been a head coach for this long, that you kind of view yourself as, I'd rather be an analyst than this job? I don't know if I want to go back to being a DC. I'd rather be a head coach.
Yeah, I mean, my ultimate goal, one, thank you for calling me a young guy. I appreciate that. It makes me feel good. Yeah, I just want to focus on this year and doing the best job I can and to help Edmonton the best that I can. And I'm hoping it makes me an even better head coaching candidate, and that I want to be completely on top of my game as far as, like you said, game management, the rules, all those things, and that you're right there with it. And that's why I stayed involved last year too in Ottawa, was to just be completely on top of the game. I thought in BC we had a good thing going here. I thought I was doing really good things as a head coach, and we'll see what happens, and just looking forward to this year for now, and doing good things in Edmonton. And I just think there's a lot of reasons for optimism in Edmonton. I think it's a coaching staff that's on the younger side, but going into year 2, I think the QB situation's solidified more going into this year. So lots of reasons and some good young players. And so I've been a part of teams that are trending up and are in growth mode, which I think Edmonton is, which I feel lucky to be a part of it. And, there's other teams that are kind of trending down. So, going to be tough sledding in the West this year, a lot of good teams, but, a lot of reasons to believe the Elks can throw their hat in the ring and be right in it.
Rick Campbell joins us. Rick, I want to go back to, so when you work on advanced scouting, and most of it's going to be on special teams and defense, as you alluded to, when you're in preseason and you're getting to game 1 of the regular season and teams don't really show much, what can you do advanced scouting leading up to week 1?
Yeah, you hope you're just getting a good feel for the players, especially the new ones to the CFL. So watching them in the preseason and seeing what they're like and trying to predict what their roster is going to be like. The other part of the gamesmanship is, a lot of the coaches in the CFL are the same, whether they're on the same team or not. But, you can focus on the coach and what he likes to do schematically and those things. But it is harder earlier in the season. A lot of coaches like when you get to week 4 and 5 because they have a good breakdown of the teams they're playing. But it's also exciting from the flip side is that in week 1, you can throw in some new wrinkles, and that's why coaches do self scouting and do go visit other teams and do things to try to grow as a coach so that you can involve and have some new concepts going into the season in week 1.
One last one for you, Rick, because I know you were co-GMing and stuff. The draft comes up, and obviously it's a huge thing for a team. Having looked at that, being in that GM chair for the time that you were, what do you think's the biggest challenge still in CFL drafting?
Well, you always have to balance when you're going to see them. So, the high-end players, are they going to be in the NFL? How long are they going to be there? There's going to be some wrinkles coming now with the nil money with college, see how that's going to affect things going on that front. The biggest thing I like was interviewing the guys one-on-one, because you can do a whole bunch of homework watching guys on film, which is hugely important as the game film and seeing what they can do. But also it's really good to learn about a guy's mindset, what makes him tick, why he loves playing football, how he feels about playing in the CFL, all those things. And it can give you some pretty good insights of what the guy's going to be like coming in. So I think the CFL drafting is an art. It's not just numbers. You got to figure out the guy's mindset and also when the guy's going to show up, and then go from there. But as we all know, the Canadians are a huge piece of the puzzle on your success. And in a salary cap world, all those things, you need to draft your own guys. You can't only sign free agents because a lot of those guys cost more money. So you have to be able to have your own pipeline of guys that are going to be, on the lower end of the salary scale and that you can develop. So exciting times. It's all going to come fast. April's tomorrow, and it's going to be the CFL draft and training camp soon after that. So looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Rick, well, congratulations on coming back to the green and gold, and we look forward to chatting with you all year long in the new role as a coach analyst with the Elks. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to coming to Edmonton.
There you go. That is Rick Campbell. I like the breakdown from Rick. Really, and if you missed it early on, if you're a green and gold fan, definitely can check it out on the podcast or at jasongregor.com. But a quick little brief summary. Rick's going to be focusing on a lot of advanced scouting. Is working on the new 35-second clock to just kind of see different strategies, how it's working, what you got to be aware from the coaching standpoint. He's also going to be writing up game management reports for all the games in the league to see the different decisions and what happening in key situations, decisions. So, because everybody kind of has tendencies a little bit, right? So you can look at a coach's tendencies to say, hey, you know what, in this situation, this is what they've done. And it doesn't mean they'll always do it, but you have a better sense of what happened. And a lot of times it's like, oh, this worked here, this didn't work. Because if you're looking and saying, hey, are we going to gamble on, maybe we should punt here, maybe we should kick the field goal, right? Yeah, a lot of different questions now. So I actually quite like this. Kanja, what Rick talked about, we've seen jobs like this for NFL teams in the past.
Yeah, I mean, he's a football lifer, right? Going back to getting out of college, working with Oregon as a graduate assistant, then right into the CFL. And as you mentioned, he's done, essentially every role with this team. And as long as the common goal is winning, I don't see any downside to this. Just having another voice, a guy who's won 3 Grey Cups. I think this is a tremendous ad for Mark Killam. And, looking to just bring in more good football minds for this team, I think it's a really good idea.
Quick break. We'll come back. Jason Strudd joins us next. It's the Jason Gregor Show, presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lottery, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play.
Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 heating and cooling company for people who want heating and cooling, because you'll save a bundle by bundling. Then you can use hot, cold, common thermostat, do what you're told. Turn up the heat, turn up the cold, to the vents start pushing out tornadoes. Bundle my furnace with some AC, gonna get a new from Legacy. Oh yeah. Save a bundle when you bundle your new furnace and AC from Legacy today. Plus no payments and no interest for 1 year. That's how you build your legacy. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's Truck Month at Wolf GMC Buick, and we know trucks. And we have the best deals of the year right now. Some have 0% for 4 years. We have 0% for 6 years. That's on our #1 selling GMC Sierra half-ton crew cab, or the Elevation, the AT4, or Denali. Yep, 0% for 72 months. And Costco members get an extra discount on some of our SUVs. Pop in today and drive away smiling. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Booster Juice is going crazy for hazelnuts.
No, not crazy. Nuts.
Booster Juice is going bananas for hazelnuts.
I mean, there are bananas in smoothies, but that's not the point.
Banana juice is booster for hazelnuts.
What? Just stop.
Booster Juice is going nuts for hazelnut. Introducing the Nutty Monkey Smoothie, Holy Hazelnut Acai Bowl, and Nutty Booster Ball, all made with rich, creamy hazelnut spread. Try them today, only at Booster Juice. Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier specialty charter companies. With our luxury motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation services. Our seatbelt equipped, top-of-the-line motor coaches have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel needs across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991. Or visit silentrides.ca.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa Service Department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, it's Tuesday night, and the lights will be high tonight as Edmonton and Seattle, the Oilers, all-time 14-4 against the Kraken. No team has defeated Seattle more than the Edmonton Oilers since they entered the NHL back in the 21-22 season. So the Oilers will look to make it 15-4 tonight. Also, you have 29 minutes left in our silent bid. For fun, we got an extra pair of tickets to go to the game tonight. And so we're just doing, it's a blind bid. You throw in your bid at $4.59, whoever has the high bid, and we don't tell you who that is. Somebody might get tickets for $50, $100. Maybe it's $1,000. Who knows? High bid wins. Text in your bids, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. And you could be going to the game. Now, let's get to the Oil Report, brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, you name it. They have it. Over 15,000 to choose from, some 73 different locations. That is goauto.ca with Struds.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. I mean, you need to have clean nuts. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, how you doing?
Good, buddy. I like the suit. A little purple. Is that purple I see? It blends nicely with your skin tone.
It's kind of a little bit more, maybe more maroon, I would say. A little bit more maroon. But
I can see that.
You know what? Hey, we were at a shoot a video, Struds. You know me, I'm always looking good. So it's one thing. I don't have good hair, but I got good clothes. So.
Good clothes and good calves.
I saw you coaching today. Because I by the way, athletic hair. Because I landed on my elbow and I now got a huge freaking bulb on the bottom of my elbow, so I have to go get it looked at. Anyway, I saw you on the ice teaching a young guy hands in tight. Are you expanding your coaching? Like, are you teaching something you've never worked on?
Well, what can I not teach after that session?
I actually really liked how you had the net set up. I'm like, that's actually really good. It teaches guys how to have to elevate it in tight quickly.
Yeah. You know what? I just try to work on stuff that may have time in a regular practice, right? When I get a chance out there, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it, and just trying new things, right? If it doesn't work, you don't have to do it the next time. But that's a keeper. I'm putting that in my coaches.
That's a good one, and it's you wish you could have 15 nets on the ice to do it for a whole team, right? Yeah. That's the challenge. Exactly. But kids, you have 2 nets at home, you could do it, right? You just take the one net for anybody who's listening. You lay it flat down, and now you put it up against the post, and if you got to take the puck, and then you got to go backhand, forehand upstairs, and you got to elevate it over the net that's bent over to get it into upstairs. Because most of the goalies nowadays, we all see them, they're all going down on the butterfly when you're in tight.
Yeah, the habits, right? You're just trying to create habits, something they can I've been in this position before. I'll just throw it over top.
Yeah, I like it. Speaking of habits, Struddy, in the last, I would say ever since the Tampa Bay game, Nurse, his habits of, I think those are his 4 best games he's played defensively. Like, he's engaged, but it's his decisions with the puck. He's not rushing. He's not forcing things. He's making little deft passes all of a sudden back to Murphy. Like, I don't know what Paul Coffey said, because he's got to have something to do with it. I don't think it's just a coincidence. But, Matt, what have you thought of him and Murphy here the last week and a bit?
Well, these two guys, Murphy's helped Darnell kind of with a partner. This is our identity. We are dropping the Iron Curtain on other teams, right? We're heavy. We make quick plays. We kill penalties. We don't try to get outside of ourselves. And I think Darnell, and I've said it many times, he's very athletic. He's a great skater. He's intimidating. But I think, and at times I get it. He played in the league this long. He'd been in the finals. Maybe you get a little bit bored. You want to challenge yourself. And he gets into trouble when he tries to do too much. When he just makes a quick first pass and is intimidating. I loved how he grabbed Kolasar in Vegas. He threw him over the net, threw him down. Like, that's when he's at his best, when he has that swagger, that intimidation. Doesn't mean he has to fight every night or run guys, but he is being hard. So now you have Murphy being heavy and hard. You have Nurse doing the same thing. I think that the game is coming a little bit easier as well further down the lineup, with Emberson and company. So it really helps. Darnell, I think, sets the table in many ways for this team. And when he's in this mind frame he is right now, man, is it a better looking team.
No, that changes a lot for your team. All of a sudden we got 2 pairs. And Evan Bouchard, man, that guy's like, he's going to score 90 points for sure. He might get up to 95 at the rate he's going right now. Like, he's having himself a heck of a season. And, I know Matthias Ekholm was talking about him today and all the thing he raves about. Like, he just talked about, like, I know you're a D-man, and I'm sure you work with it in your D-man camps, other places, but Ekholm said the one thing about Bouchard that maybe gets overlooked is just how often and how efficient his outlet passes are to guys in motion on the tape. If there was one skill to teach young D-men, Struddy, in today's game, because you watch it, like, D-men aren't stationary. Like, when you played the game as a kid, right, D-man get in the zone, you'd stand kind of at the right D. Like, nowadays, no one stands still in the offensive zone as defenseman.
Yeah, they love getting 5 guys involved, right? So that's D-man jumping off the blue line. There's scissoring going on, all types of things. Scissoring northwest or north-south and east-west as well. And yeah, he is an elite passer. And I think he, at times, people in other markets who don't watch him every night, they think he's only got the bomb, which he does. But he's an elite passer. I think he's leading or second for primary assists. And D-man is a little bit different, I think, primary assists, because you can get a lot of second assists, but you're the one who broke it out. But he's leading. I think he's leading in primary assists. So he obviously makes a lot of good plays. He's playing so well for this team. You see him on the penalty kill, and he seems to be dialed in. So on that back end, you kind of got 5-6 guys now that look really comfortable with what they're doing and playing better on the back end. And unfortunately for Spencer Stassi, might leave him out in the cold for a little bit. But the owners need to find their game. They need to get their top 6 guys going. And then by extension, you're now seeing the goaltenders look a lot more comfortable. there's predictability in where the shots are coming from. And that's whenever I played with goalies, they're like, if we see a backdoor coming, at least we get a chance to get there. But if it's, backdoor one time, breakaway the next, not picking up the rebound in front, they don't know what's coming and going. So I think it all ties together.
Looking to tonight, Struddy, the Kraken. Hey, the pride of Wainwright is killing it right now. Bobby McMahon has got 11 points in 8 games, including 7 goals. Capo Caco's 10 points in that time. That line has been very good. But the Kraken, they don't, even without Draisaitl, the Kraken don't have the horses of the Edmonton Oilers, right? They're not as quick as Edmonton is. Seattle's just historically been a bad matchup because they don't have enough. They got 120-goal score. Right. And that's they don't come close to Edmonton. So if you're the Oilers, obviously you don't change anything per se, but you got to feel pretty confident. Certain teams where you just look and say, we know if we play well, we can beat this team.
So I've loved the Oilers' last 3 games. Now, those are 3 wins. I've loved the way they've played. They've been, you talked about moving the puck, but they haven't beat themselves. And I think that's humongous. And the penalty kill is trending in the right direction. So now we have a team that's not killing themselves, not drowning or not drowned, but not struggling on the penalty kill. Yeah, their power play struggling, but you take Leon Draisaitl off any team, you're probably going to have a bit of a tough time in there. So I really like the way that the Oilers are playing right now. So I don't think it has anything to do with Seattle. If I'm Knobloch, here's their best players or their hot players. This is how they forecheck, backcheck. But guys, this is all about us. This is our game, the way we play. Because the Oilers they're trying to bank points. I get that, but they want to get their game going the right direction. So Seattle shouldn't even be, shouldn't be something you worry about. You don't disrespect them or not respect them when they're coming out, but you've got to play the way they have. They play the way they have the last 3 games. They'll come out and very happy and get their first 4-game win streak of the year. And then you got the Blackhawks on Thursday, which is another team you just got to play away. And then Vegas with the new coach on Saturday. So this team is trending in the right direction at the right time. And I look forward to seeing what they bring tonight.
What did you make of last night, Gudis and the Maple Leafs?
It's funny, the Maple Leafs, why are you mad now? You should have been mad at that point, when it actually happened. And I get it. I don't know who was on the ice. I don't believe guys like Max Domi was on the ice when it happened. I don't believe that there was a guy like Dakota Joshua on the ice or Pizzetta, but they're the ones that kind of clean up the mess. But I'm people say, well, the Leafs didn't respond. Well, the guys that maybe would respond for you were on the bench. So they responded last night, but it seems it's just too late. And I wonder if that was a learning lesson for various players that were on the ice for that situation. And one of them was Morgan Riley. When you see your captain laying on the ice after a knee hit, everything else is secondary. You don't care about the puck. You're going in there and flying in. So I wonder if this isn't maybe something that helps take that culture to another level there in Leafs land, because it is low right now. The GM's out. So nice that they kind of got him, I guess. But it was so premeditated. Everyone knew he was going to fight. And I would have rather seen it in the moment and happening right at the right time.
Yeah, well, Gudis clearly had a hurt hand. He didn't even try to throw a punch against Domi or any of the other ones. So, good on him. And, they kept going the whole game. And, hey, but it's interesting. What's funny about it, Struds, is the last thing the Maple Leafs want to do is win games now. And and I mean that in all seriousness.
Yeah,
they're going to give up. They're going to look at the pick they might give up.
I know.
Right? So why? And they're the Pelican, we're not going to tank. But I'm like, why? It's not tanking. Have a plan. We have a plan. Have a plan. Because I outlined what happened in the salary cap era for them. They missed the playoffs 11 out of 10 or 10 out of 11 years. And you know what? They had some good draft picks and they made some terrible trades that ended up costing them a number 2 overall pick and a number 9 overall pick. But when they made their picks, Kadri, Riley, Marner, Nylander, Matthews, all good picks. That helped their team. And so when you look at them now, they don't have a lot of picks. They don't have a ton of prospects. And their team still needs a number 1 defenseman, probably a reliable goaltender. They got 2 key forwards. John Tavares is getting older. I'm like, how the hell do they think they're going to retool if they're missing prospects and picks? So the last thing you can do is give away a top pick. The organization be like, Craig Berube, you say, I don't care what you do. You play the kids, do whatever you have to. We cannot win games.
Yeah. So you look at this situation with some of the trades, like you think back to the Scott Laughton trade, Grebenkin and a first rounder for Scott Lawton. Lawton is gone now. Grebenkin is going to be a player for Philly, and then the first rounder, whatever that was. Like they don't have anything. This is going to get really bad for the Leafs. There's no quick turnaround for this. I just don't see it. And then if you're a top player, do you want to stay there? Right. So they have no one coming. They have nothing. So, I understand people are like, well, we'd like to get Armstrong from St. Louis. Yeah, I'd like my hair to grow back as well. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. If you're Armstrong, why are you going back there right now? You have, in my opinion, Greg's, the Leafs haven't even hit rock bottom. They haven't even hit the rock bottom yet. And you think a top guy is going to want to come there and be a part of that? I have a hard time envisioning that happening, Greg's. I don't know what you think, but I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to get a top guy when you have yet to hit rock bottom.
Yeah, well, that's probably very valid. Give me your thoughts on the difference that you see from a pure defender standpoint, and why Emberson makes that third pair so much better than Stastny does.
Man, I think that he's just further down his road of development. I think he's a better player now. He's a right shot.
Yeah, that helps.
And I think as you made the point, I'll give you credit, which is rare. You said that he reminds you, Spencer Stastny's making some of the mistakes this year that we saw from Emberson last year. And Emberson's just quiet and calm. He just goes and plays. And I think it allows Wallman to, just like Nurse, now kind of knows his identity, right? He is beside a guy who's going to be more stay-at-home. He doesn't necessarily want the puck on his stick all the time, where Wallman does. So I think it's really let him also find his game, because he's playing better as well now, Wallman. So everyone seems to be slotted properly with the right partner, and it's helping them find their games. So this is a pretty good development, because I said at the beginning of the year, I thought this is the best D the Oilers have had since Connor McDavid came. Now I know that Kulak was gone to start the year. Kulak's left and all that stuff. But now it seems to be sliding into place just as the year's going.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I've noticed, Struddy, Dickinson, you throw in Szymanski, like there's two forwards now who I believe are defense first. Now, I had a really good chat with Dickinson in the room, and he's kind of annoyed. He feels like, man, my lines, we got to do more in the offensive zone. So it's not like they never want to produce. You do, but they have such a natural defensive outlook that, okay, sure, you'd like him to score more, but you're comfortable with Dickinson now. I see the coach in the minutes he allocates. He can play Dickinson upwards of half the minutes against the other team's top lines, with McDavid out there getting the other half or a bit more, right? And I know that might seem like a little bit, but that's like against Kucherov. McDavid played 7 minutes. He played 5.5, and Dickinson actually be better in his 5.5 minutes. Now, when Draisaitl comes back, that opens up even more windows, right? Where you can just say, hey, if Dickinson's taking 3 or 4 minutes against the other team's top line, that's 3 or 4 minutes that you can free up for Draisaitl and McDavid to match up against second, third, or fourth line. And over the course of his 60-minute game study, I think that's a big advantage.
Yeah, and gives them a little bit lighter matchups. He doesn't always have to take those, he being Leon. Now, at the end of the game, of course, Leon's going to be out there, right, to take faceoffs. But middle second period, you don't have to put him out there. Throw Dickinson out there. Let him hammer on his wrist as he's trying to snap back these faceoffs, right, to whoever. So it has really been a game changer. So credit Stan Bowman and his staff to identify and go out and get the right players that they needed in those moments to bring it in, because Murphy's been a great addition. He's complemented Darnell Nurse, just like we saw Matthias Ekholm complement Bouchard a few years ago. And then Dickinson's given them a lot of options, right, down the middle. And what I like, Greg's, is they're noticeably bigger. You have Dickinson, you have Murphy. Now, Cole Dock, I'm not sure how much he's going to play when he gets going, but Trent Frederick's a big body, is coming back. They look a lot bigger, and size matters. It does matter. So that allows you to have some options like Savoy, who's playing really well, a little bit smaller body, smart, fast, but you can't have all small players, just like you can't have all big and slow. This is a nice mix they have with these new additions on the team.
Struddy, always good to catch up with you, buddy. We will chat again soon. Have a great day.
Yeah, I still think it's purple suit, buddy, but either way, it looks beautiful.
Buddy, it is. It changes colors in the light, so maybe you just catch them in a little bit better light, right? It's shiny.
Sure, buddy.
Shiny. Jason Strudd from Now You're Back podcast here. It's the Gregor Show on Sports 1440. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and we got spec DVD. Man, what a busy show. And if you missed it, Italy out of the World Cup. So Canada's pool for the upcoming World Cup will be Switzerland. They're 19th ranked in the world. Canada's 30th. Qatar is 55th. And Bosnia 65th. Pretty good pool. Like that, it looks a lot different without Italy. That is a massive help for Canada. Could get into the second round. It's awesome. We'll return to the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text check to 780-777-7777. That's check to 780 all 7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Legacy Heating and Cooling offers no payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. So, when you wake up to no heat, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately with no overtime rates. Call Legacy. If you need it immediately and want to combo it with AC. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. No payments and no interest for 1 year on your new furnace. It could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
It's like a locker room, minus the smell.
Ew.
Kevin Carius brings the banter, the buzz, and the bold sports talk. Weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440, Edmonton's home for sports.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
Deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you earn points towards
Free McDonald's.
Now that's what I call
a double whammy of deals.
Why does that keep happening? Deals sent right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value. For a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Bring into savings at the Brick. Refresh your home with huge discount. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals, and buy more, save more. Up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game. Save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your FlexiBee card. Plus, save 50% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I am a used RV salesman. But just because I love being a used RV salesman doesn't mean you would like doing my job all day long.
If you're selling your RV privately, that means that you have to be an RV salesman too.
That's right, Bob, and there's a lot of work involved. You have to find the customers, be ready to show it at a time and place that's convenient for the other guy, all the stuff you take for granted when you come to No Bull.
There's not a lot of glamour in being a used RV salesman, Rick.
I don't do it for the glamour, Bob. I love helping people enjoy the great outdoors on their terms. It's my life's work, but it doesn't have to be yours. When you sell your quality used RV with us, we take care of everything. Cleaning, repairs, commercials like this one to bring people in, and besides, I like being a used RV salesman. A lot more than you do.
And that's no bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth W football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
.454, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. You can check out everything, see the show, click the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, whatever you like. It's great. Let's get to 5 questions now, brought to you by The Brick. Spring into savings at The Brick, where you can save up to $1,800 off of sofas and sectionals, and an additional 25% off bedroom and dining furniture at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, let's get a prediction. Oilers and Kraken, and who's going to score the game-winning goal?
Go ahead.
I'm going to take the Oilers to find a way to get the win here tonight. Give me 5-2 game-winning goal. It's going to be the captain, Connor McDavid.
All right. I actually think Edmonton's gonna score quite a bit tonight. Seattle's just a matchup that has not gone well for the Kraken. 6th game of a 6-game road trip. Kraken, funny enough, in games where they have 2 days between games, they are 3-6-3. So I'm gonna say the Oilers win 5-1 tonight, and Matt Savoy will score the game.
Good pick. Question number 2. I'm going to make it a 2-parter here because it's kind of easy, I think, when you look at the schedule. So when does Tristan Jarry's next start come? And in the final games following, how many more does he get into?
Well, he's going to start on Thursday against Chicago. Then I would guess he would start he's going to start one of the 2 games in the back-to-back next week. So that's 2. And then I think he's going to start one of the final 2 games. So I say he starts 3 of the, what have the Oilers got? 8 games left. He'll start 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, the back-to-back kind of forces your hand right there, and then give him another chance to get going, and hopefully the efforts continue. Chicago, I'll go Utah because he had success against them already, and then Vancouver to wrap it up. Question number 3 for you. Who do you think should be the next GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs?
And it's going to be a tough. You need somebody who, and it doesn't have to be a GM with GM experience. I don't think that's a must-have for Toronto. Sounds like they're going to have a president of hockey and a GM. So, is the president of hockey going to be more important? I don't know, but I'm going to say Chris Pronger will be the next general manager of the Toronto.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, the first thing that came to mind was Doug Armstrong, but I'm going to go with Mark Hunter instead. Obviously, he's been a co-assistant GM in the past with the organization. What he's done with the London Knights, we know. And the last GM to come from, well, one of the last was with Vegas. And, they've had a lot of success with the CHL general manager. So I'll go Mark Hunter for me. Maybe the analytics steer away from him. Question number 4 for you guys. Well, you today. If you were giving advice to Gavin McKenna, would you say that he should play in the NHL next season, or maybe look at what Owen Power did, stay in college for another year?
It's It's hard to say. You look at McKenna, and he's a late birthday already, Cons. So now I can't remember if Owen Power was or not, but remember that Gavin McKenna, it will be his 19-year-old year technically, right? Because he's a December baby, and he's like a late December baby. So you know what? Now I only watched 2 of the Penn State games. Like the guy had 51 points in 35 games, led his team in scoring as he was an 18-year-old basically, right? Like, I don't know, that's pretty impressive. I think at this age you can get, like, I just look at the difference between Draisaitl when he came to Edmonton in his 19-year-old year and then as his 20-year-old year, like big difference, 1 year. So, Gavin McKenna, if he wanted to wait, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I think it's going to depend on the organization, but a lot just depends on him. How does he look in camp? I can't say right now. Based on past history, I think he's probably going to come to the NHL.
Yeah, I would agree with you with that one. But, 6 feet 170, I wouldn't mind to see like him put on maybe a little bit more muscle there. The college schedule could be advantageous for that.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't.
During the week.
Trust me, he's not 170. I'm assuming you got that off of Hockey DB. They don't update that at all. So that is.
I went to Penn State's roster.
Oh, okay.
So start of the year probably. Yeah. But
I'm guessing he'll be 185 by training camp.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if he puts on 15 pounds, I would be more than happy to have him. But then again,
but I'll say
what team is it going to be?
I'll say this, Cons. I don't think he'll be 6 feet. He'll be 5'11". Because did you see? Well, have you seen Major League Baseball? We'll get into that in our stats of the day later. But are you kidding me? Like,
I thought he might be 6'2" by then.
There is no the amount of over heightening in pro sports is stunning to me. Anybody who follows baseball this year will know what I'm saying. But I will wait till the numbers I unveil coming up in our stats of the day.
I'm looking forward to it. Final question: Artemis 2 going to launch tomorrow. Hopefully everything's going well. Canadian Jeremy Hansen will be on the mission. It's orbiting the moon. It'll be about 10 days. Does this intrigue you? Is this something you would be watching?
No. Well, maybe the takeoff, but after that, no. Like that, I don't know. Like we got so many problems we want to solve here. What the hell are we wasting? Honestly, I don't really understand it, right? Like we got so many things that we need to solve here. Why are we worrying about wasting gazillions of dollars to go to fly around the moon? Fly me to the moon. It's a great song, but I'm not really, it doesn't intrigue me at all.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'll probably check in every once in a while. I've kind of been following along. We've got Dale, one of our producers here at Stingray, is a big, I'll say fan of this. I don't want to say nerd or anything like that, but he's into it big time, and he's kind of hyped it up. I've been looking at their menu, things, that sort of thing. I'll be checking in on it, but it's not the most important thing to me for sure. It's interesting. I hope it's safe. I hope they all come back healthy and everything like that, but not my top priority.
No, not at all. And good for I get you like it. I just feel like we've got so many bigger things that we should worry about here, but that's just me. Let's and by the way, congratulate, man. We got a lot of bids in. This is kind of fun. For bids ranges anywhere. The lowest one was 97. And I like a lot of people had some odd ones like 214, 268, 306. And ultimately our winner today is Manny. Congratulations, Manny. You are the winner. He had a top bid of $400, and he'll be going to the game tonight. We ended up with 22 different bids, so pretty sweet. Let's get to the comment and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. If you're looking for a great deal, stop in. No pressure, no haggling, just a good deal. And you got to see the brand new Autoplex indoors. It's amazing. Check it out, northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. Oilers taking on the Kraken down at Rogers Place. Puck drop just after 7. Pre-game coverage coming your way at 6 with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro. Elsewhere around the NHL this evening at the Stars and the Bruins, Sabres host the Honors. Canadians in Tampa, Panthers up against the Sens. Red Wings head to Pittsburgh. Jackets host the Canes, and the Jets taking on the Blackhawks. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays looking to bounce back from their loss to the Rockies yesterday when they meet in 5 minutes' time. Tough news for right-hander Cody Ponce, since he's been diagnosed with an ACL sprain and will miss some significant time. A couple games underway right now. All scoreless: White Sox, Marlins, Reds, Pirates, and Nationals. Phillies later tonight, Mets in St. Louis. Astros hosting the Red Sox. Tigers take on the Diamondbacks, and the Yankees head to Seattle. In the association, Toronto Raptors back in action up against the Pistons in Detroit. Tip-off 6 o'clock. Also the Magic and the Suns. Nets host the Hornets. Caps taking on the Lakers, and the Clippers hosting the Portland Trailblazers. The Oil Kings in Saskatoon for Game 3 tonight. That's already decided a game each. Puck drop at 7. In the AJ, you've got Drumheller hosting Camrose in Game 7 of their series. And from the soccer world, Italy will miss the World Cup for the third consecutive tournament after falling to Bosnia in penalty kicks earlier today. With that, Canada takes on Bosnia to kick off the event June 12th in Toronto. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, and we'll hear the latest edition of Cam Tate's 2-Minute Warning. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
This jersey was worn by the legend himself, signed and everything. You can't just wear it. I'm framing it with expressions and images.
Your prized jersey deserves better than the closet. Think expressions and images. Your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
At Fountain Tire, the savings come in threes. Up to 25% off select tires, a mail-in rebate of up to $100 off a set of 4 select tires, and $50 off a $150 service. We're basically the BLT of savings. Until April 25th. Restrictions apply. Book today.
Your seat is closer than you think. Starting at just $28 a week with a deposit-free payment plan available. Securing your full, half, and quarter season seats inside Rogers Place for the 2026-27 season has never been easier. Sign up for pre-sale access at edmontonoilers.com/season seats. Experience all that Rogers Place has to offer during an Oilers game night by visiting edmontonoilers.com/season seats.
This summer, it's coming. An unstoppable force that will turn your home into the Sweatbox.
Don't live in a summer blockbuster. Pro Solutions is your one-call-solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. With fast appointments and flexible financing, we'll make sure your home story has a comfortable ending. AC season is coming soon, so book today.
Lock in pre-season pricing today.
Visit ProSolutionsInc.ca to schedule your service today.
Why should you drive a Subaru? How about durability, style, and an excellent customer experience from the moment you step into the showroom? And how about accolades, including awards for numerous 2026 Subaru models from both AutoTrader and JD Power? But don't just take my word for it. Take a test drive and you'll see why the Subaru name is recognized and renowned for quality. To learn more, visit Subaru.ca. Welcome to Uncommon. Welcome to Subaru.
That's 2 minutes for teeth chattering. Freezing on the sidelines again? The Kuma heated chair is a must-have for sports parents who want to cheer in total comfort. From chilly spring mornings to frosty fall evenings, you can finally be warm and comfortable for every game of the season. Shop Kuma Outdoor Gear online and choose from 4 unique models, including one you both can curl up in. Get yours today at KumaOutdoorGear.com.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, And boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
508, welcome back. Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, the Eric Carlson of Lottery, $65 million up for grabs in Lotto Max. Good luck. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. And while you're there, you can stop in, check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. Of course, we got some NHL action for you, some Oilers action, and more at PlayAlberta.ca. Hey, Oilers are taking on the Kraken. Update if you missed it, Ponce has an ACL sprain, not an ACL tear. And we'll find out tomorrow because it's actually good time. And we have Grant Fedoruk coming on the show. We're going to talk about Leon Draisaitl's injury and, kind of the prognosis from an expert. And, he's dealt with lots of them. And so we kind of know what it is. And now with Ponce, with an ACL sprain, obviously better than an ACL tear, but not much better. We will see. So there you go. He's out for, he's definitely going to be out for a few months. No doubt about that. So we'll see what the Jays do for a starting pitcher. Trey Savage is going to do a simulation game Friday for a few innings, but he's obviously, maybe a few weeks away, but they're going to need someone at least for one start, maybe two before you get Trey Savage back. And then Barrios is close. Probably maybe not until the end of April at the earliest, I would think, for Shane Bieber. Maybe not even until May. So who knows? Let's get to Le Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. And you see them moving in. They got a lot of work to be doing on the Yellowhead around that 127th Street Exchange, getting that party going, and a lot of other areas around the cities. They always remind you, we get to construction season, drive safe, be respectful. They want to get home. They want to cheer for the team just as much as you. GSConstruction.ca. As Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us once again. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Doing awesome, man. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, do you remember the movie? Did you watch Clash of the Titans, Spec?
No.
You never seen the movie?
I don't think so.
Oh, geez. All right.
I'm not the movie guy, man. I'm not the movie guy.
Oh, okay.
When I watch them, I tend to forget. When you used to go rent movies,
yeah.
if I had $1 for every time I rented a movie and took it home and watched the first 5 minutes, realized, oh, man, I watched this before.
I was just laughing because in my article today, I was kind of because the Kraken, of course, is a big sea monster.
I saw that. You brought in all of them.
Yeah. Well, you should have watched the video in there, and you would have seen Medusa in her eyes and how the Kraken suddenly turns to stone.
Oh, okay. I'll go back.
Yeah, we got to click on the video. It's a 2-minute video. It's classic from way back in 1981. But wow. The Oilers have been the Medusa to the Kraken. The Oilers have beat them 14 out of 18 times. No one's beat them more than the Edmonton Oilers. However, their power play has been a main point of that. They're 35% in those 18 games, but they're 7 out of 9 this year. Of course, that included a 4-game power play when they spanked them 9-4. And that's when you had the second unit even scored. So, who knows? Maybe even without Draisaitl, this might be the cure for the Oilers' PP woes. It's the only thing that hasn't been going great now has been their power play here the last 6 games.
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of those, styles make the fight things. They've owned Seattle since Seattle came in the league. But I also remember Nashville owning Edmonton for a long time, and then that flipped around, and now Edmonton can't lose to Nashville. So I don't have an answer why Edmonton beats Seattle for fun. They always have, and by some big scores along the way. Can't go on forever. But Seattle's always had fairly average goaltending. They've never had great, powerful scorers. They've been an average team. I guess that's probably why. And Edmonton's been pretty good since then. But I would say this: one of the very positive things about the Oilers right now is this 4 games without a power play goal now? Correct?
For the opposition?
For the Oilers.
Well, they're
I think it's 4 games.
Yeah, it's probably 4 games that one. Yeah, they're 1 for 14
games
in the 6 games without
right.
Dry.
Yeah. And they're playing pretty well. My point is, this is a team that has been called power play merchants, and I'm not saying that's what they are, but the power play helps this team along quite a bit. So the fact they're having success with a power play that's not producing, that's actually a very good sign for the Oilers.
Yeah, because eventually their power play is going to get going.
Eventually it'll get good. Yep.
I don't. The only problem was against Tampa Bay. Spec, they didn't score a power play goal, but they also gave up 2 shorties, so that wasn't ideal.
That sucked. And there was another game, I think, against Utah. They never had a power play, but they won the game.
Yes, they never have a power play against Utah. You are correct. So I look at the Oilers, and we talked to Struds about it. And obviously the Nurse Dickinson pairing's done a lot. The Nurse Murphy pairing's done a lot. But Szymanski and Dickinson. Like Dickinson has really added something, I think, a little bit of a bite to his game. I know you had a conversation with him. I had a conversation with him, Spec, and he's like, I really like, because he talked openly. I asked him about the hit against Vegas, right? And he goes, you know what? I had no problem with it. He goes, I knew if I leaned in, if I reached for the puck, I'd be putting myself in a tough spot. So I put myself in a tough spot. He goes, now, I didn't like the hit, and that's why he got mad. And he goes, I was kind of seeing red, and I ran over Theodore, but you know what? Like he didn't hesitate. He went in there and, he took a penalty, but he even said, he goes, I knew if I hit him that someone was going to come running at me anyway. So it was going to be coincidentals. And he was right. And it was, but the other thing I liked about him is defensive game's good. He has trust in him. He goes, I'd like to see at my line be more than one and done in the offensive zone. We want a little bit more offensive zone time. And that's where, like, I like everything about Szymanski's game, Spec, except there's not a lot of offensive. He's always thinking defense, which is great.
Yeah.
And that's why I think when Draisaitl comes back, Szymanski's probably the guy in the top 9 who goes to your 4th line.
Yeah, and Szymanski's just a young guy. He's not there yet. There is a skill here to being very good defensively, but still having offensive creativity and still knowing when to take the chance and take the puck and go with it, and knowing, listen, Connor McDavid's he could win the Art Ross, and I think his plus minus is like plus 15 or something, So even the greatest offensive player in the game, I'm here to tell you, he still goes back and forth on his decision making on when to take an offensive chance. That's just, it's just the way it is. So young Szymanski, oh my goodness, he knows his way to how his bread is buttered. He knows how to stay in the lineup. And he knows that if he starts going minus every night, he's probably coming out of the lineup. So I don't blame him, but we're all kind of waiting for him to find a balance, right? You can't just defend. There's got to be, when you get the puck, you got to do something with it. He'll get there. Will he get there this year? I don't know, Jay. But he's a smart kid. He's a good player. He's big and he skates well. So there's no reason he can't find a way to get there.
Oh, no, I definitely think, he's been an unreal find for the Oilers, right? Like undrafted player. And that's and we've talked about this before. That's what the Oilers have done well is, getting some young guys, like that. And hey, that's like a 4th round draft pick 5 years ago who makes your team when they're 22 and 23, because that's when most of them do, right? That's essentially what that is. But it's found money. And I think Szymanski's looking at it as a guy who has a lot of potential, who, the other advantage he has a countryman who they're in Germany. Hey, do you want to train for 3 weeks together and stuff with one of the most skilled guys in the world? Trust me, Szymanski's offensive game here is going to get a big uptick in the next few seasons. And I don't think it's just going to be like instant, but I won't be surprised if, 2-3 years down the road, oh, there's Josh Szymanski, 14, 15 goal season, something like that as a 3rd pair guy. Nothing wrong with it. So,
well, and we crap on Bowman for making some of the bigger mistakes. The Jari trade, his July 1st haven't been good, but the fact that he's injected successfully youth into this lineup while they're in their Stanley Cup window, right? Like, not a lot of teams can pull that off. You know, he brings in Savoy. Savoy's going to be a good player around here for a long time, man. You know, he brings in Podkolzin. He brings in Szymanski, right? He fills out a guy like Emberson, who looks like he's going to play for some period of time. That will prolong the Oilers from falling over the edge of the cliff here at the end of their run. As long as you keep some youth coming in, it's good. Good for him. I'm not telling you those guys are the difference maker. You know, it's usually July 1st that puts you over the top when it comes to winning cups. But I'll tell you what, those guys, there's 4 young players right there. And, you know, you got Ike Howard in the farm. People like him down there. Let's see how he does. But Bowman's been pretty good at that. It's not just a bunch of old guys taking a cup run here. He keeps injecting youth in, and you can't complain about that.
When you look at a guy like Matt Savoy, and this is a hard question, but for fun, what do you see as a projection down the road for Matt Savoy?
Well, it's getting easier to project. Like, he's a rookie for one. You know, what's he? Is he 22? I think.
I don't know. It might only be 20. It might be 22. I thought he's only 21. I'll double check. I know his birthday's in January. Right?
Okay, so let's say he's 22. I know this. He's an NHL rookie, first season.
Oh yeah,
and he's shown. He's already shown that he can play.
Back in January, just turned.
Sorry,
20. Just turned 22 in January.
Okay, so he's really young. He's shown already that you can put him on a line with Connor McDavid, and he doesn't make McDavid worse. You know, McDavid is still very productive when he's playing with Savoy. So that's the first thing. Like, oh my God, if you can find young, cheap guys that can play with McDavid and make him better, that's, you know, or Draisaitl or whoever. So that's the first thing. You know, the next step for a player like that is, can he play? You know, he's young and he's a winger. So I'm not telling you he's going to drive his own line anytime soon. But that, I guess, would that be the next step, Jay? Once you prove you can play with great players, then you have to, the next step is, can you bring other guys along? But for a 22-year-old rookie to be on your first line and being productive, and the guy that's, you know, your centerman is not missing a step here with Savoy with him, oh my God, that's pretty unbelievable. Like, that's pretty good stuff for a young player. I don't think Ryan McLeod was ever going to be that guy. I don't think Ryan McLeod was ever going to play with McDavid. McDavid was going to continue to have an Art Ross pace, and he was going to thrive offensively. I never saw that out of Ryan McLeod. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, McLeod is, you know, he's more of a you know, a really good third line center, and you're seeing that in Buffalo. Savoy has more high-end offense for him, for sure. The one thing about Savoy that I think some people maybe didn't bet on was him being that good of a penalty killer and that good awareness defensively. Like, Matt Savoy is really good defensively. You watch the reads he takes in his defensive zone. I think it surprised a lot of people. And that's why, man, I will argue till I'm blue in the face on the need to have guys play in the American League. And Matt Savoy was a high-end pick. Playing more guys in the American League, giving them big minutes in all situations, helped them become a better NHL player. And Savoy is the prime example of it. It's why, you know, Ike Howard, I'd love it if he could kill penalties. Now he's not killing penalties. And so that's a slight concern for me, because if he doesn't score for you in the NHL and he's not overly physical, what's he going to do? Right? That's the challenge. Savoy's got more tools in his toolbox right now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And you put pressure on an Ike Howard, because now he's got to be a top 6 player up here. You know, if he's not killing penalties and he's not really checking great, then he's got to be a top 6 player. Well, guys like Savoy come in the league, and Szymanski as bottom 6 players, and then they earn trust and they gain experience and they buy some time. It's hard to buy time when you walk in the door, and the NHL coach as well. The only place I can really use you, son, is on one of my top 2 lines. So that means you better start producing, and you better start right now. That's a lot of pressure. You got to be really, really good to pull that off. And let's see what the future holds for Ike Howard here. I don't know if he's good enough to be that player. You know, hopefully for his sake he is.
Spec, we will see you down at the rink tonight. Have yourself a great day.
All right, looking forward to it, man. Should be fun tonight.
There you go. That is Mark Specker, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We'll return. We get to DVD. We got some stats of the day. You don't want to miss some of those, babe. We're going to have some fun with it. Coming up on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
One app, triple the action. Play Alberta is proof that good things do come in threes. Whether you're into playing any of our exciting casino games, betting on your favorite professional sports teams from around the world, or buying into Canada's biggest lotteries, Play Alberta is the province's only app to do it all. Download today and discover a new way to play. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original or New York. Use the code on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder with over $3 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
Struggling to find skilled workers? What if you could fill your talent pipeline with motivated, pre-vetted youth and receive funding to support your efforts? Careers the Next Generation, we connect Alberta employers with interns in skilled trades, IT, agriculture, forestry, and more. All WCB covered, high school accredited, safety trained, and ready to contribute from day one. With 83% of RAP students continuing their apprenticeships after high school, investing in youth today means securing your workforce for tomorrow. Don't wait. Visit careersnextgen.ca to get started.
Spring into savings at The Brick. Refresh your home with huge discounts. Save up to $1,800 on sofas and sectionals. And buy more, save more, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. Dreaming of better sleep? Upgrade your mattress game and save up to 40% off select mattresses and score free delivery when you use your Flexity card. Plus, save 15% when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, proudly Canadian since 1971.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Is your business ready to grow? Not sure how? We have your solution. We are Stingray. Whether your customers are around the corner or across the country, Stingray connects you with radio to digital advertising, including connected TV, search and social, programmatic, digital advertising, and digital out of home. From idea to execution, we've got you covered. With creative and production, cross-platform integration, detailed reporting, and one-on-one support, it's the easy way to make your business grow. Get started now at stingraymediasolutions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent and non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
527 game day. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. It's the Oilers and the Seattle Kraken. Tonight, Connor Ingram, starting goal. The Oilers, no lineup changes. Trent Frederick, very probable for Thursday, his return against the Chicago Blackhawks. Doc, at the earliest, could play his Saturday. I probably don't see that happening, and who knows what they'll do, because by then you got 15 forwards, so we'll see. Somebody could maybe going down. I don't think you want to carry 15. I could be wrong on that, but we shall see. Let's talk some more hockey as Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joins us. DVD, how you doing?
Good, Jason. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm great, man. I know you're a huge soccer guy. Italy, third consecutive out at the World Cup. They haven't been there since 2014, I think would be
14, in Brazil.
Right? And but that's a pretty big break for Canada. Like, there's nothing guaranteed, but now in their pool is 19th ranked Switzerland, 55th Qatar, 65th Bosnia instead of number 12 Italy. Like, that's a pretty big break.
Yeah, it is. It is and it isn't. Like, I was really wanting to Canada play Italy in a World Cup game in Toronto. I thought that would have been awesome. It would have been a really special day for Canadians, for Italian Canadians. I think it would have been just a great spectacle. I know half the stadium probably would have been filled with Italian fans, but to see them not qualify today was really harsh. I was watching the game. It was a tough break for them. They went down a man late in the first half. The guy got sent off for basically tripping a player on a breakaway, and then they were holding on for the rest of the game. So it was unfortunate, but yeah, it's now you look at Canada and you go, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to get out of that group. They're going to have the hometown advantage now in that game. It's going to be against Bosnia-Herzegovina instead of Italy, and you can look at it two ways. You can look at that. This is good for Canada. They're going to go really get a good chance to get out of the group, but I just think that they really missed out on what would have been an amazing spectacle, and the people that would have been able to go to that game and to say, hey, I was there to watch Italy play Canada in a World Cup game in Canada, in Toronto. I think would have been awesome. It would have been one of those things that people remembered for a long, long time. But now you got Bosnia and Herzegovina, and you're right. Now you got Qatar, you got Switzerland. There's a really good chance Canada gets out of that group and advances, and who knows how far they get. If they get out of that group, they could get to round of 16, quarterfinal, and go from there. So I think it's exciting in that sense, but I do think the tournament lost something with Italy not being in it.
Well, that part's fair, but I'm just talking from a Canadian standpoint.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
you
know what? The problem is, David, like, I don't remember what the tournament is with Italy. They've been over it for so long. Now, kind of sadly getting comfortable without them. That would be like, hey, the NHL playoffs, they want the Oilers in it. Oiler fans want them in it, and I think the Oiler players want in it. They're starting to trend in the right direction. But as Matthias Ekholm said today, it's only a few games. You got to keep this rolling here. I don't think they're going to win every game between now and the end of the regular season, of course. But, this is another game. The Oilers have showed up. 3 teams in the West, Utah, Vegas, Anaheim, boom, beat them all. You don't want to fall back against a team below you in the standings tonight in Seattle.
No, you don't. And I think there's an opportunity. They can close the gap on Anaheim. Anaheim lost last night. So they have an opportunity to kind of get to within 4 points. And I think first place is still a goal for the Oilers. They want to go out and win the Pacific. And it looks like it's going to be, if it stays the way it is, obviously at this time of year, it's tough to kind of overtake teams. But if it stays the way it is, it's going to be Edmonton, Vegas in the first round. So, I think the Oilers have been here long enough to know you just have to be playing well going into the playoffs, and you have to have your game and found your game. And I think they have, for the most part, in this last few weeks. They've been playing well. They've been playing strong defensively. They're getting contributions now that Draisaitl's been out of the lineup. They're getting contributions from throughout the lineup because guys are getting an opportunity to play. They're playing in opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't. And so if you're an Oilers fan right now, you're looking at it and going, okay, we have 8 games left. We can win 6 of these, get guys really rolling, get guys playing well, and then you get Leon Draisaitl back fresh for the playoffs. And that's probably going to be a good thing. So I think if you're an Oilers fan, if you're the Oilers, you're looking at this and just take this a game at a time, obviously, but I think you have a good opportunity here to kind of really solidify your playoff spot and challenge for first place and see if you can kind of steal that first place spot in the last minute. The Oilers haven't been there all year, so if they can get there at the last minute and maybe get an easier opponent in the first round, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think the important thing is, though, that they know it. They just have to be playing well heading into the postseason. And once they get in the postseason, there's so much experience on that team that they know how to win playoff series. And I think that's a good news for Oilers fans.
Yeah, that's fair. When you look at the game tonight in Seattle, and hey, McMahon's playing very well for them lately. He's kind of rolling, but their goaltending's really fallen off here. And the one area where the Oilers haven't been great, and no surprise, Zach Hyman kind of joked about it. Goes, hey, you take out Leon Draisaitl. It's something they've always done. He's their main shooter. He's been their main scorer. It opens up a lot of other looks, and they've struggled on the power play. But the one area they didn't, even their second unit scored twice against Seattle early in that 9-4 blowout earlier this year when the Oilers had 4 power play goals. So, maybe tonight's the night where Edmonton's power play, because at this point, if they get one, like if you go 1 for 3 or 4, that's a good night.
Yeah, it is. Lane Lambert was talking about that this morning when he was saying, when he was asked what's the key to kind of trying to win this game. He's like, stay out of the box. We got to stay out of the box. And hopefully if we do take penalties, they're legit penalties type thing. But yeah, he knows that his team, the goaltending is not there. And Bobby McMahon has come in and just been lights out since he's come in. He's got 7 goals in 8 games. And it was a situation where they're kind of giving him a lot of quality minutes that maybe he wasn't getting in Toronto. We talked to Bobby McMahon this morning. We talked to Lane Lambert this morning. And he said, yeah, I've always liked him. When I was in Toronto last year as an assistant, I liked what he brought. I thought he was a good player. And then I pushed hard for him to go get him and bring him here to Seattle. And he's been really good in Seattle. But I think, they lack that top-end scoring. So they have to do it by committee. They have to have 4 lines going. They have to get a lot of guys chipping in because they don't have that star power on their team. Jordan Eberle's still their leader. He's been around for a long time, obviously, but they don't have that high-end offensive guy like the Oilers do. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, they have to stay out of the penalty box because if that's when they get in trouble. Their goaltending hasn't been great of late. But if they stay out of the box, they can play with other teams. Once they get in penalty trouble, once they start chasing, start hooking and holding, Lane Lambert says that's when his team is in trouble. And he kind of knows. He looks at his squad and he goes, we have to grind out wins. We have to win here. We got to win tight games. We got to win tight checking games. We just don't have the firepower to kind of keep up with an offensive juggernaut, maybe like Edmonton can be. So, yeah, that's going to be key for them today is to kind of stay out of the box and try and grind things down and grind out wins. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Bobby McMahon does here in Edmonton when he gets extra minutes, when he gets some of those quality minutes. I've always liked him as a player, and I always thought he was underutilized in Toronto, and this is kind of coming to fruition here when he gets an opportunity to play. He's doing a lot of good things for Seattle.
He is. And, he's in a shallow free agent pool. He's earning himself a little extra bucks. I'll tell you that. Like, I don't care who his agent is. Say, hey, guys, like I can love Seattle all I want. I owe it to myself to at least check free agency. I could like Brett Kulak, right? Brett Kulak walked into free agency, got the offers. You know what? Okay, now I know. Went back, signed in Edmonton. If I'm Bobby McMahon, I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, and you can say that for Jack Roslovic here in Edmonton, right? Like, who's going to throw what kind of money at him with the season he's having so far? So, yeah, they're going to wait and see. And you're right. In a year when there's not a lot of big name free agents out there, it could be a good payday for guys like McMahon, for guys like Roslovic, for other guys that have that potential to score 15 to 20 goals a year. So, it'll be interesting to see. But, yeah, he's having great time so far in Seattle. He's fit in well. He said he didn't know anyone on the team. He just showed up. But Lane Lambert had a lot of confidence in him and believed in him and pushed to get him. And now he's using him the way that maybe he thought he should be used in Toronto.
DVD, you look, man, the Ottawa Senators, they might be, they are getting spanked. It is not a good start in Florida. Tonight. They gave up a goal 8 seconds into the game. The nephew scored 8 seconds in, and then Shane Pinto 15 seconds in, took a penalty. Then Artem Zub took a penalty. Then Clevin took a penalty, and they're down 3-0 in the first 10 minutes of the game against the Florida Panthers. So not a good start for the Sens. Is there a team in the East? Like, do you think the Flyers can make the comeback and get in?
I think I still like Detroit. I know that they're not playing really well right now, and they're dropping. I still like Detroit. I think the Flyers can make a run. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's been that way for a couple of years now. There's always been that one spot in the East where there's 3 or 4 teams, and they no one goes up and grabs it. It's almost like they're always losing a game here or there to try and get it. I still like Detroit. I still think they're the best. But yeah, Philadelphia, they can put together a run. They can go and claw it. It's right there to be had. I think, what do we got? 3 teams with 86 points. And it's 88 points is the marker right now. So yeah, just go on a run. Just do what St. Louis did last year. Go on a little bit of a run at the end of the year, and you're able to steal that playoff spot, and that's what you need. But to go on a run, you have to focus on one game first. And everyone talks about just focus on the game in front of you and then worry about the next one. But yeah, it's just a matter of going on a run, taking it there, because it's there for the taking. And Columbus is not guaranteed, and those other teams are breathing down their throats. But you got to take advantage of that. You got to win those games. And yeah, if you're Ottawa today looking at that going, geez, we're losing to Florida, who's been checked out for a month here. It's not good. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see that race in the East and who eventually does kind of get that last wild card spot.
DVD, we'll see you at the rink, my man. Have a great one.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Derek Van Diest. So come back. We got Cam Tate. We also got our stats of the day. And I've been teasing them. We'll get to them next. It's the Gregor Show presented by Alberta.ca.
Craving your favorite mouth-watering pizzas? Papa John's has large specialty pizzas for only $19.99 for a limited time. Get a flavorful all the meats, the works, ultimate pepperoni, Hawaiian, barbecue chicken, and more on original thin or New York style crust. Use the code LSPEC at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
At On the Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tune.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best Latin DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jazz Brav and 118th.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Nothing beats getting a deal at McDonald's. Why? Because you get a deal now.
And a deal later.
Redeem an offer from the latest mailer or on the McDonald's app and dig into instant savings. Plus, you want points.
Free McDonald's.
That's what I call
a double whammy deal.
Step right to your door. Check your mailbox for the latest McDonald's mailer loaded with delicious value for a limited time at participating restaurants in Western Canada.
Who's that working on the underground utilities over there? All-Star Construction, that's who. What about the street lighting? Yep, All-Star Construction. And the directional drilling, hydrovacking, neighborhood renewal, and telecommunication work? Yep. Since 2009, All-Star Construction has been doing all that and more, shaping and building Edmonton communities for land developers all around Edmonton. That's what All-Star Construction is all about.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Remember 2025? That's so last year.
But seriously, St. Albert Dodge needs to clear some 2025 models off the lot to make room for new inventory. So they're having a huge clear out of all the remaining new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Saharas. The Sahara package is the best seller, so they have a great selection to choose from and priced from as low as $59.9. I don't have to tell you, these are going to go fast. So get there before they are gone. Just head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
The Lawnmower Hospital. Spring is here, and your lawn knows it. Get the professional grade cut your home deserves with Toro. The Lawnmower Hospital has the right Toro for the job, from the residential Toro Super Recycler to the high-performance zero-turn tractor for those larger properties. Shop now for exclusive spring discounts or 0% financing for 36 months on select units. Beat the rush and get your Toro in for service today. Visit lawnmowerhosp.com.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Fast track your financial goals with a special rate term deposit from Vision Credit Union. For a limited time, take advantage of a great rate on 1, 3, or 5-year terms. Plus, as a Vision Credit Union member, you can earn up to 25% more on your interest through profit shares. For details, contact your branch today or visit visioncu.ca. That's visioncu.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Warning brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home with no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or your AC, or even better, bundle them together and save more. LegacyHeating.ca.
Game 3 explodes tonight in Saskatoon. This WHL first-round brawl between the Oil Kings and Blades is knotted up tighter than Grandma's elastic underwear after Christmas dinner. Like that one there, Gregor? Teams split in Edmonton, kneeing 76 minutes before the Oil Kings pulled out a 4-3 win. Pressure's sky high. The only thing hotter than the ice? Wondering which poor soul Jason Smith dares to toss in net tonight. The up-and-comer or the experienced veteran? Parker Snell, a St. Albert kid barely old enough to buy a lottery ticket, stepping directly into the white-hot spotlight of a ruthless postseason. Played 33 games this year, 3 shutouts, a .274 GAA, 22 wins, 9 losses, all leading to an .895 save percentage. He's paid the first 2 games of this playoff series. Probably not all that proud of allowing half a dozen goals in 2 games, but you keep pushing, right? Now skating in the big leagues, he has the hot hand, yes, but he also possesses a terrifying, borderline arrogant confidence. He looks at the pressure cooker of the playoffs, shrugs off the critics, and simply shuts the door. It drives opposing teams absolutely nuts. Then, Ethan Simcoe, the 20-year-old who has played all 4 years with the Oil Kings, has a birthday, Thursday. Ill stood like a fortress all winter, carrying the crushing weight of a demanding fan base squarely on his shoulders. He absolutely bailed this roster out when the defense crumbled around him. He made saves that defied simple physics and completely shattered the spirit of opposing benches. You do not easily dismiss that kind of relentless blue-collar grind. This year, Simcoe posted a .293 GAA, .888 save percentage, 8 in 38 games. Both guys are ready. we'll see who is in the starter's net in just over an hour. And tomorrow, on the 2-minute warning, we'll rehash the hash. Oh, yes, we will. 2-minute warning. Gregor, Haley, Kruger. This is Cam Tate, Sports 1440.
Oil Kings tonight and tomorrow in Saskatoon. Go Oil Kings, so they can, at bare minimum, get a split, maybe sweep. You come home and you can salt up the victory at Game 5 Friday night in Edmonton. Game 6, if necessary, will be in Saskatoon. And Game 7 will be well, it's not Holiday Monday, but Easter Monday in Edmonton. So good luck for that. Now, been teasing it, but let's get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction, specializing in underground utilities, power, gas, telecommunications, street lighting. They also do directional drilling and high-vol backing. That is All Star Construction. And the numbers I want to start with, we'll get to hockey in a sec, but this is fascinating because MLB, they introduced their ABS challenge system. So the teams now have to provide more precise measurements of their players' their players' heights. What's this done? Well, shocking. The league has gotten a lot shorter. And so this is why. So the ABS zone is set at 17 inches wide for all players, which is the width of home plate. But the height is variable. From the top of the zone is set at 53.5% of the player's height, and the bottom is set at 27% of their height. So basically, shorter players will have a smaller zone, which in theory makes sense, does it not? But if you look at the heights, man, it's wild. Opening day rosters, there's 430 hitters. They've lost a combined 20 feet compared to previous years. Davis Schneider was listed at 5'11". How is that even possible? Anybody who watches the Jays knows that that's not the case. But it really got me thinking. Imagine if they did this to NHL teams. Because I trust you, I'm in the room, right? And we were talking about that. I know exactly. My height is 6 feet. Now, am I above 6 feet? Yes, but I'm not. I've never been officially 6'1". I was 6 feet and above 3/4. About maybe 15 16ths, probably 13 16ths to be honest. But I never said I was 6'1". I was always like, 6 feet. No, never. I see guys in the room that are listed at 5'11", and I'm like, dude, there is no chance here. If you're 5'11", I'm 6'2". And it's wild to me. So I would love, there's nothing in hockey that I can think of that would make the teams have to be this precise in their measurements, right? There's nothing I can see, so we'll probably never see it. But you go look in baseball, and The Athletic had an article that outlined the differences. The New York Yankees had almost every one of their players was an inch shorter. It's wild. So I don't know if you've seen that or not. In the NBA, 82 games this year, which when you think about it, 82, they're probably playing close to about 1,230 games, give or take, and 82 of them have been decided by 30 or more points, which is still a pretty high mark. That's the most ever in NBA history. The Wizards have lost 11 games. The Kings 9, Jazz, Nets, and Bucks each at 7. The two teams who have had the most 30-point wins. Cons, any guesses? Two teams who have the most 30-point wins.
Thunder and
good guess.
Spurs.
Knicks.
Oh, Knicks. Okay.
Yeah, Thunder and the Knicks. So, blowouts, I don't know how you're going to get but hey, guys, remember the commissioner's going to get rid of tanking. Give me a break. It's not happening. Now, let's wrap it up with some other stats about the Oilers and the Kraken tonight. As I mentioned it, the Oilers, no one's beat Seattle more than Edmonton. 14-4. They've dominated. Now, here's the thing. A lot of time people will talk about, depth matters more than top end. Are you serious? I'm always stunned by that. Oh, you know what? This team's got so many 20-goal scorers. Okay, so Utah and Vegas right now have the most 20-goal scorers in the NHL. They each have 6. Those 6 scorers have combined for 147 goals. The Edmonton Oilers and Colorado and Tampa and Carolina each have 5 20-goal scorers. But Colorado's have combined for 157. Edmonton's have combined for 148. So Edmonton's top 5 goal scorers have more goals than Utah and Vegas's top 6 goal scorers. If you add in Nugent Hopkins, who's at 18, well, now the Oilers are way up, right? They're at 166. to Utah and Vegas, 147. So you never want to get fooled. Did you know that the Oilers, when Matt Savoy scores his next goal, Edmonton will be tied for the most 15 goal scorers in the NHL. If you want to get deeper, okay, then we can talk. But never, ever fall for the, depth is what matters more. You want guys who, if your top guys don't score, then you need depth scores. But at the end of the day, guess who the top 5 scoring teams in the league are? Edmonton, Colorado, Carolina, Tampa Bay, and Montreal. And they're the teams who have a lot of 20 goal scores, right? It's not depth. You need the top end guys. You need a few guys who score a lot. And that's exactly what the Oilers do. Like Seattle has 10 players with 10 plus goals. Edmonton has 8, but Edmonton's top 8 all have 14 plus. Seattle only has 4 guys with 14 or more goals. So more is better when it comes to top end scores. Coming up, we got the pregame show. Walker and Paulson on behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger. I'm Jason Gregor. Have yourselves a lovely Tuesday. Enjoy the games. Here's a Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs. You're looking for a vehicle? Think Go Auto, goauto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
It's game day. Oilers Kraken down at Rogers Place. Puck drop just after 7. Pregame coverage coming up next with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, and Landon Ferraro. Game's going on right now after 20 minutes. Bruins up on the Stars 2-0. The Islanders trail the Sabres 1-0. Lightning Canadians tied at 1 apiece. Panthers beating up on the Sens 5-0. The Devils trail the Rangers 2-0. And the Penguins up on the Rangers 3-0. Out in Washington caps up a 2-0 lead over the Flyers midway through the first. Jackets and Canes are scoreless. Only one other game tonight. Jets and Blackhawks at 6:30. Major League Baseball, Blue Jays and Rockies scoreless. Bottom of the third. Elsewhere, you've got the Marlins on top of the White Sox 4-2 heading into the 5th. Pirates lead the Reds 6-1. Phillies up on the Nationals 2-0. And the Athletics have